What's up and welcome back to Kinda Funny's MCU in Review. That's right, we're going back to where it all began. As always, I'm Tim Gettys, joined by the producer slash seducer, Nick Scarpino.
You were born for this.
The big dog, Kevin Coelho. The Nitro Rifle, Andy Cortez.
You were born for this.
And Greg Miller.
Hi.
How you doing?
If you're listening to MP3, everybody go immediately to the YouTube video and look at Tim's costume because it's amazing.
I did. I said I was going to do it, and then I did it. Did I decide to do it last minute? Yeah, but I made it happen though. And
it doesn't look like you did it last minute. You have, of course, if you didn't know, it's a Tim version of Scarlet Witch here. You got the Scarlet Witch crown on. You got red contacts in, which is just disturbing, and then a red bomber jacket, the gloves. You went on. It looks like you planned it longer than last minute.
Yeah. Well, I didn't, because this is Kinda Funny's MCU in Review, where each and every week we get together and rank and review different film franchises. This is the first one that we ever did way back leading into Infinity War. And now we're about to add WandaVision to the mix. But next week, we are going to start a new in review franchise. We're doing Godzilla leading into Godzilla versus Kong. We are also continuing Pixar in review with Monsters, Inc. You could watch the show on youtube.com/kindafunny or roosterteeth.com. You can also listen to it as a podcast by searching your favorite podcast service for Kinda Funny Reviews. If you want to get the show ad-free, and if you want to watch it live as it's being recorded, you can go to patreon.com/kindafunny, just like our Patreon producers, the nanobiologist and Sven McHale both did. Thank you both very, very much. Today,
Thank you all. Thank you. Tim, real quick. I didn't notice the red contacts at first. I was doing my own thing over here. They look very, very cool. I think next time, Kevin, we plan something out. We get him chroma green contacts, full eyeball, chroma green.
Jesus.
Chroma that out, and
like
then
that.
add like glowing effects. You know, like
little nicks in my eye.
I was gonna say a little
Don't do that.
Elizabeth Olsen,
Please don't
but
do
yeah,
that.
I could
Anything
No,
put
please
that in
don't.
your eye. I'm fine with that.
Yeah, no. We don't need anything like
What
that.
if
But
we
just
just
you
do
know what I
that-
mean, Kevin? We could just put
Andy,
an MP4 behind. What's
Let
up?
me
Doc?
take it a little further. What if we do that
Okay.
one scene where Doctor Strange, you know how he's falling through everything and everything keeps like expanding and growing, and we have that kind of visuals going on behind his eyes. I know it'll be small,
That could
but
be
like
cool.
for the kids that zoom in, I feel like
Yeah.
that's
Also, you could go to YouTube and we could play Iron Man 3 because it's up there. That's how I watched it the first time. It's up there illegally, and I think we could just have that in the eyeballs.
Sure,
That'd be great.
sure,
That's easy.
sure.
Oh, we could just bootleg Iron Man 3 that way. Okay.
Yeah.
So what are we calling him now? Because I'm racking my brain to try to figure out a good name for Scarlet Tim,
Scarlet
but all I
Tinch.
can come up with is Tim's.
Oh, that just feels
That's
right.
perfect.
Boys, today we are talking about WandaVision, a runtime of around 4 hours and 30 minutes. That's just actual content, not including credits and all that stuff. It was released on January 15th through March 5th. Over 9 episodes on Disney+. The showrunner was Jacqueline Schaefer, who showran this and also has co-written Captain Marvel and the upcoming Black Widow, in partnership with the director Matt Shockman, who is an American film, television, and theater director and former child actor. He's directed episodes of The Great, WandaVision, It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, Fargo, and Game of Thrones. But the cool, interesting thing here is he directed every single episode of the season, and that is not common for television
Any
shows.
show.
So it was done more like a movie. Music was done by Christoph Beck, who won an Emmy for his work on Buffy, but he also did the soundtrack to Ant-Man. I thought he did a killer job with this one too. Budget of $225 million, which averages out to about $25 million an episode. And there was a ton of quotes talking about how it's all VFX and practical set building in the first couple episodes, and that there are almost as many VFX shots in this as Endgame.
Wow.
Which is absolutely
That's
crazy.
wild.
The finale
The
just
quality's not
happened.
equal though, right?
No.
The VFX shots,
No.
like certainly this last
Oh, no.
episode. Yeah. All right.
Greg Miller,
Hey,
what did
buddy.
you think? We just saw the finale.
So yeah, where are we doing this? So this is MCU in review, but we've been doing the reactions. Of course, you can get all the reactions on YouTube. You can get all the reactions on the Screencast podcast feed. But we're starting off talking about the final episode here.
Yeah, start off talking about the
Perfect.
finale, and then we'll get into our thoughts about the overall. I mean, the overall include them here in the finale as well, and then we'll get into the plot and all that stuff.
Sure. I mean, we loved WandaVision. I loved WandaVision. I think this last episode didn't stick the landing entirely in terms of a few different. I don't know. It's hard to say. I think we had such highs in all the other episodes before this, and the cliffhangers and the things like that, that to get here and then you get the answers to so many things. Like when they did the boner thing. Just looked at Jen. I was like, all right, that's how we're doing it. All right, like whatever. That's, you can put that out of the realm later. We'll bitch and moan about that, I'm sure, on this episode. Like, for me, it succeeds because at the end I cried. When we got to the end and the walls were closing in and Wanda and Vision had their goodbye, you know what I mean? Like, that got me. And that, I think, is what we're talking about here, right? Of like, for it to end on, there were so many theories of how crazy it could get or what it was going to get to. But to have it end with WandaVision in the show WandaVision, ending their whole cycle here of grief and what they've gone through and, what Wanda's gone through on her end of it, like, that worked. And so as a character study and a through line, I think it succeeded at what it set out to do. I mean, I loved every one of these reaction shows with you guys leading up to this MCU in review. I loved having something to, for a week, chew on. I loved Thursdays being excited for Friday morning to wake up and see what was going on, having these little breakfast dates with Jen to watch it. And then as soon as it ends, jump into all these different things about it. Yeah, like I said, I don't think this was the best episode, but I enjoyed myself.
Nick Scarpino, what do you think?
Right there with Greg. I think this was a good episode that ended a great series, and it's unfortunate because I feel like there's a lot of great stuff in here, and they delivered on the emotional note of the character development that Greg was talking about. Right? I really do think that by the time she comes full circle, she realizes she has to give up her family for this. I just feel like she didn't. I feel like they just consequence at the end of it. I think that Monica Rambeau kind of lets her off the hook. She's like, she's like, I'm really sad for what I did. But I'm thinking to myself, there's a whole town of people you should be apologizing to behind you, and you're not. And she just apologizes to Monica Rambeau, who she's only interacted with a handful of times here. Meanwhile, the mom from that 70s show is like, fucking kill me. Like, let me out of here. Well, and she's just like, hey, I'm really sorry about this, but I'm gonna go figure out on my. And I was like, yeah, it's totally cool. Don't worry about it. And I would have liked to have seen her. I think the beats were there. I would have liked to have seen them push it a little further at the end, and to really, really feel her pain of having to see her, because when she sees the kids start getting ripped apart, I thought it should have ended there, where she should have had to be like, I have to make this decision now. And she's like, I'm sorry, Vision. I'm sorry to my kids. And then that's the last time she got to see them, because that's kind of what the character deserves. Because really, at the end of the day, she's still the bad guy in this. But overall,
hey, don't come in here and drink my ragu bagu Kool-Aid. All right, we'll get there when we get there.
All right. But overall, I really enjoyed it, and I think that I think the way it ended was satisfying. I just wish they would have pushed it a little bit further.
Andy Cortez.
I enjoyed the hell out of it. I'm still with you all. I'm still with Nick and Greg. I think I wish I hadn't seen a tweet last week after last week's episode ended, where Agnes is floating in the air with holding the kids by their throats with her purple magic or whatever, and it said the Disney Channel original movie energy is so strong in this scene. and that stuck in my brain. So for that whole fight sequence in the daytime in the streets, I couldn't get my mind off of that. It felt cheesy. I didn't love the kids getting involved in the fight. I didn't love vision on vision type fighting or whatever. I thought the kids getting involved was just really cheesy. I was like, I just don't really give a fuck about them. Like I just don't care about the fuck them kids, Michael Jordan or whatever. But the whole ending of it made the episode worth it. I thought the whole third act of the episode was awesome. It just got really emotional. I'm right there with Greg. I got very teary-eyed towards the end, saying the goodbyes to each other. I yeah, I enjoyed the hell out of it, and it was like Nick said, a good episode, good ending to a great season. Go ahead, Greg Miller. Fuck them
If I can
kids,
just jump
Michael
in here because
Jordan.
you're saying, oh, sorry, what was it?
Yeah. What?
Yeah, no, that definitely went over all of our heads. I vaguely remember "fuck these kids" from Michael Jordan.
It's a meme. It's always on the internet.
Yeah. My
This
thing
whole
though is
internet
more
thing they got
about
going on. Yeah,
where's the internet.
It's gonna pedal out.
this whole internet thing. Yeah.
catch on.
My thing is I wanted to jump off of something you had said, but now we're talking about Michael Jordan, so I totally got derailed. So go on.
Kevin Coelho, what'd you think?
I mean, overall, the season was very good. It was really entertaining. Did it stick the landing? I think that what this tells us is like where our expectations should be in the future for these shows, where it's like I wanted something huge that would tie into the like bigger MCU, and we get little things of like that. Like there's 2 post-credit scenes that are clearly leading to something, but. Yeah, I mean, I think that it did kind of a couple things that really bummed me out. I enjoyed most of this episode, but it brings back Vision, so he's not dead. And then weirdly, he just kind of
He's not the same Vision though, right? Like that's
No,
something
he
that's
is.
interesting to play with.
like he
He
literally
has the
is
memories, but he doesn't have the emotions. He does not. He's a computer that remembers what Vision remembers, but I don't think he has the emotions.
I don't think that's right. I mean, he was
Tim?
blanked.
So I have a read on this that I haven't seen anybody on the internet talking about, which is weird because I thought it was pretty straightforward. But Vision was talking about the White Vision's mission was to kill the Vision, right? And he's like a robot. He just does what he's told. And I thought that our Vision played, or the Hex Vision played like a mind trick on him because it ends with him saying, "I am the Vision." And when he leaves, I kind of got the idea that he killed himself as a robot because that was his job to do.
Oh.
He got like logic tricked.
Oh no!
Oh, no,
I thought they both walked away thinking neither of them.
Is weird.
I thought they both walked away
Otherwise.
thinking neither of them were the Vision or the real Vision. Or whatever.
First off, I love that scene. I think that was the strongest scene, one of the stronger scenes in the finale. Because I love how they bring up the analogy of the Greek ship, and he's like, are either of us it? And he's like, we're both it, and neither of us are it. But I read that he was like, he knew that he couldn't get out of the hex alive. And so he basically gave him his memories and was like, go about, be the Vision now and be different. You're going to be different, but you're going to exist in the world outside and evolve eventually hopefully to the point where I'm at, where you can feel the emotions and all that stuff.
Yeah, because even that one single line delivery of him saying, "I am Vision," or "I am the Vision," or whatever the hell he said, sounded completely different from every other line delivery that he had, which is very robotic. Even his I don't
and his
think
eyes changed, right? Didn't the eyes change?
Yeah.
So I thought that was kind of him breaking out of his programming part of it,
Yeah.
that he is more sentient, but I didn't take it that he was like fully back to being Vision.
I thought it was just like a reprogramming of, hey, here's everything that I went through. Here's everything like in your brain now. Now you understand what the hell everything, and obviously they super fast machine learning. These processor chips they're really fast.
They're fast.
There's no
fast.
semiconductor
I want one.
shortage there.
Wait, but
Yeah, I want one.
From what I felt was happening is he was saying, like, you have all the memories of your previous life. They've just kept them away from you. I'm gonna let you see them. So I assumed that kind of reverts him back to the person that died. Like, they got the Infinity Stone removed from his head.
Yeah,
Right?
that's what I thought too, Kevin.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure. I thought this just meant like Vision is still out there now. We don't know where or how,
Which,
and
to me, brings up another thing which makes no sense. Like, why would Vision leave? Like, why would he not? Like, literally, Wanda is like, I guess now he remembers getting killed twice, but why wouldn't he immediately go to Wanda and be like, "Hey, I'm back.
Hey, I'm back, and I'm gonna help fight this thing."
we needed Vision will return. We needed that little at the ending.
Yeah, I don't know. There's a lot. I mean,
like that.
I think they leave it. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong, but I would think they're leaving it. He's not on screen fighting, and he's not on screen dying, and he's not whatever, because they want to leave that open and have us ask these questions until he pops up again.
Yeah, maybe it's another beat, a different show later down the line. Who knows?
It just
Or a different movie.
It bugs me because this kind of reminds me. It feels so much like
Agent Coulson,
Nebula.
Agents
No,
of S.H.I.E.L.D.?
Nebula at the end of Endgame, where not Nebula,
Gamora.
Gamora at the end of Endgame, where it's like, oh, I guess that character's back, but like all of that doesn't make.
They're
a lot
not
of
really
sense.
back.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah,
I think
they
that's
are.
what I thought. Like,
sorry. So what I was trying to say in the beginning was that this is kind of devaluing death in the MCU, where it's like,
Totally.
great,
yeah, I know.
no one
You're
is
going back
dying.
to like the
Yeah.
James Gunn thing, right? Where like when he killed Yondu, and everybody's like, "Oh, he'll be back," and James Gunn was like, "I'm not bringing back Yondu because death needs to mean something in my movies or whatever." I understand what you're saying. I think that what it does though is it open up interesting story possibilities of. There is this Vision now that has Vision's memories, and he is the Vision, but I think he also remembers that he's not the Vision, and I think that's a character thing for him to wrestle with. Of he has all these memories and he has this thing, but is that really who he is? Is that what he has to go do? It's like the movies where you'll see somebody get cloned, and then they have to deal with the fact that what's the clone actually want to do? Does it have its own personality, or should it march to the beat that already happened with the original version, kind of thing? I feel like that's what they're setting up here.
I guess this what they're setting up is like the struggle between Vision, like what is he? Because before the Mind Stone was part of him, and like there's that moment which I think is one of the strongest moments this season has, where he's about to die, or the Vision that was created by Wanda is about to die, and he's kind of like, what am I? Like I was a machine, then I was alive, then I was a dream. Then I became real, and now I'm going back to nothing. And it's like, wow, what a nice little reminiscent to the Blade Runner speech, at the raindrops.
Yeah,
yeah,
that's really good. Because he cried for the first time, and he's like, now I actually feel like I'm really, really feeling these emotions. But are they real? What am I?
And I feel like he's setting it up too. Like he knows that other Vision's out there. And my read on it, again, because we're just taking interpretations of which I love, is that Vision's memories got unlocked, right? Because that's what he did when he tapped his skull. He was able to get into whatever files were locked and encrypted for him, unlocked all the Vision memories, but he still had the programming, he still had all these things to wrestle with, and he shot off to go wrestle with that and try to figure out who the fuck he actually is and where he actually stands on whatever's going on. So I think when he comes back, he's not the Vision we knew before WandaVision. He's gonna, because he has information that the Vision in WandaVision doesn't have, right? We saw Endgame, we saw the stone get, not Endgame, we saw Infinity War where the stone's getting ripped out of his head, right? Which our Vision and WandaVision had been told about, but this is the actual Vision memories of being killed in there. But what do you do if you have memories, but you also have another personality you've been developing and everything else? Does that override it? How does that work? How does it work without the Mind Stone? All those questions.
I think maybe if the robot sounded like somebody else, I'd assume he's just going to be somebody else. But the fact that it's like it's still Paul Bettany.
Bro,
and,
when you got Paul Bettany's voice, you got to use that voice.
But I also think that opens it up. I hear you, Andy, but I think that's like one of the things they want to do is that I think if they want to go down that storyline thread, right, it's going to be that Wanda sees the Vision doing Vision shit, and he's like, hey, I know that you had a thing with the other me, but that wasn't me, even though I have those kind of memories, and I'm struggling to find out who I am, kind of thing.
Yeah.
You have that push and pull of it. Or
Tim, what did you think of this episode?
And that is from the comics, by the way. What Greg just said.
I thought so.
With the White Vision storyline is essentially that Wanda being like Vision, and he's essentially like you're not my partner or whatever. I am exactly with it. Sounds like all of you guys, like Nick totally nailed it. This is a good episode in I would say fantastic season of television and just MCU in general. I think that all the emotional beats were like perfectly handled. I think that as a whole, the storyline was very well kind of wrapped up and gave me a lot of satisfaction that I was looking for in ways that I totally was not expecting. This episode surprised the hell out of me. All the theories totally off. Every single thing was a little bit off, and this is why I trust the MCU, because even when they don't give me the thing that I'm expecting or give me the thing that I'm theorizing or hoping for or whatever, they're giving me something. I'm like, well, shit, that was actually really good, and that's why you have this job and I don't. Yeah. But it's one of those things that in the sense of building the universe or multiverse or whatever, I am very shocked and surprised at some of the choices they made. And then I do think the Quicksilver choice sucks, at least currently. And that can always change. And, they can retcon whatever they want to do or whatever. Or maybe not retcon if they actually have a plan for it. But that definitely was a letdown. However,
I knew it. I had a feeling, Tim. I had a feeling, man. I was like, I don't want this to be for naught. And it feels like boner. We got a boner joke.
We got a dick joke at the end of the day. Yeah. But the thing with that though is although it bums me out that we're not getting this multiverse stuff yet, it feels good and satisfying because it's not like what they gave us wasn't set up great. I've been theorizing on the show talking about Ralph the whole goddamn time. Turns out Like I was like, Ralph has to be important because they keep bringing it up. It is. It's just Quicksilver. It's not Mephisto or whoever the hell else we're talking about. So it's like, okay, this show really did a good job at doing what it set out to do. And maybe it didn't do the best job of having the most get hype cameo moments of all time, but that's fine because in some ways it did, even if Quicksilver didn't turn out to be the Quicksilver we thought it was going to be. And that end credit scene, like post credit scene of Wanda doing the astral projection stuff with the Doctor Strange music playing in the back, I'm like, fuck yeah, let's go. I wish we could watch Doctor Strange now.
Yeah, I mean, I think we're all in agreement. I think just to go back to the point of Vision. Well, there's a couple points for this of criticism for me that I think like I'm glad they didn't do the Vision thing at the end. I'm glad they didn't do him landing and being like, "Who am I? What am I? Let's figure this out." Because I think that would have been a little too much of a happy ending for the series, and specifically for the character of WandaVision, who I think is now having to go into like a second chapter of her life of actually trying to figure out who she is, and that might not have the best consequences as far as her being a hero. I feel like,
and if I can jump in too, that's because I'm gonna let you guys swear, Nick. But that's also why I was happy they didn't end it with Vision and the kids being pulled apart and her having to make the decision. Right? She's already done that in Infinity War, having to sacrifice Vision twice. Yeah. Now we got to see the goodbyes. Now she has closure. Again, this whole thing was about her grief, right?
Yeah,
and so when you think about it from that small character beat, I'm happy with where it went. Sorry, back to you, Nick.
And then the other thing I think they severely underutilized, especially for the last few episodes, was Monica Rambeau's character, who I thought they should have probably focused a little bit more on, because she, to me, at the beginning of the series, was not the lead protagonist, but she was the hero.
Detective.
She was the detective. She was the one figuring all this stuff out. And I just thought she was going to play a much bigger role in the last couple episodes. And then they were going to have to come to a head where not necessarily a fight, but have there be like a, hey, you gotta go to jail now. You can't just leave. And then Monica just sort of lets her off the hook. And I'm like, oh, that's weird. Like this character just went from being
Nick,
really, really cool to like not to just kind of like bland. What's up, Andy?
Nick, what we needed is The Rock, Vin Diesel. I'll be seeing you.
We need it. A moment like that where like there's nothing wrong with, obviously, like they had some really good nuance here in the character development with Monica and being the sort of realizing that, hey, maybe Wanda's struggling with this, maybe she's not necessarily 100% to blame because she might not be able to control this. We need to figure out what's going on by going in there. But then they just had the generic the character that I wish they had just not even included in this, which was the leader. Yeah, terrible. Just one-dimensional character who they couldn't even figure out what to do with at the end. So they just hit him with a car, and he's like, "Well, I guess I'm trapped in this car, and I can't possibly do anything else." And so I think it's annoying. I think it's unfortunate because the way they solved the Vision stuff, I thought was really clever and really smart, and that's what I expect from these TV shows. You can't do the big effects things as good as Endgame, so don't wow me with spectacle because to Andy's point, it's going to end up like a Disney original, right? Wow me with something clever, i.e. Monica Rambeau being the detective and figuring out that key thing that she needed to unlock Wanda to get her to stop doing the things, which she sort of did along the way. But I was just like, wow, the only main like hero beat they gave her was stopping a bullet. And even then, I'm like, I'm confused by this because I don't know her power. No one's explaining to me what these powers are.
Yeah, that was I think I loved Monica, obviously, from the introduction and all the early stuff and, the Endgame flashback, all that stuff, fantastic. For me, I'm right there with you, Nick, and I think the problem starts when she pushes through the wall. When she pushes through the wall that second time and gets her powers and becomes a full-blown photon, and we get all the Captain Marvel dialogue and callbacks to it, it seems now watching it now knowing how it ends, it feels like that is so shoehorned in to establish her to put her into Captain Marvel 2 or whatever it's going to be at the end. Because to bring her back, have her then get an end credit scene where Pedro's like, Snooper's gonna snoop, pull her aside, put her in the thing, bring her back out, she stops some bullets. It's just like, why are you involved in this? Like, I wish we weren't using the limited screen time of this show to do this. Because, again, she's an amazing character. I like where they're going with her. But I feel like they're just trying to, okay, now give her some stuff so people are excited about her and they're going to know the thing of her stopping in for the bullets. You're right on the money with Hayward as well. Like, and this is what when I lost my train of thought with Andy earlier. It all goes back to when he was saying, the fights in the street looking like Disney Channel originals, right? And stuff like that. When the episode started that way and then kept going that way, that's when I was like, oof, okay, this isn't the strength of this. The strength of this is the conversation, right? When Vision, like you're talking about, get together and have the boat conversation, I was like, fuck yes, this is awesome. Cool. Even when Agnes and Scarlet Witch go up into the sky, and she's overloading her with power, and she's shooting around her. And I was like, Jen's like, what's going on? I'm like, I think she might be trying to overload her, but I don't know why she's missing on purpose. And then when it happened, I was like, oh, that was clever. That was good.
That was
I wish
really
that had happened sooner so we could have gotten a conversation sooner. I wish the Vision fight hadn't gone on as long. I didn't need as much, I'd rather have that shortened a bit of them going invisible and going through each other and trying to tear out each other's stones, then get to the conversation, then get to being supercomputers, get out of the witch fight faster so we can get to this really cool witch standoff, then wrap it all up.
Yeah, my biggest issue with the fight scene stuff wasn't so much the look of it, because like obviously it looks like shit. Like we all can understand that and know it. But I thought that it was like, I thought it went quick enough, and it is the payoff. It's the end of the thing, and we need to have the fight. And I hope that one day that's not the case. But I think that this kind of it built up to this, and narratively it made sense that we got the fights the way that we did. So I'm okay with it, because it's like I'd rather get this and know, okay, cool, the Visions fought and it looked that way, sure, but at least we know they fought, we know this happened, than not having this at all and having it turned into whatever. But I really was more upset with, okay, so we have a witch on witch fight, and we've seen what Doctor Strange can do with cool fight scenes and stuff, and we really just get this color versus this color, like blasting against each other. Like that to me was the thing where I'm like, come on, guys, like do something cool with your witch powers that we've seen, like your reality powers. You're like, come on. But
they end up
cool,
bringing her back to, and I was right there with you too, where I was like, God, this is all this is going to be. And then she does the thing where she and goes back into her brain and brings her back to that reality of like that horrible moment for her. But then it gets twisted on her, and I was like, okay, we're getting there. But yeah, I think they could have pushed that. I think they could have been, if they'd had another $100 million, we'd have gotten freaking Kaleidoscope World with Doctor Strange and all that stuff, which would have been cool. But again, to the point of it, like I knew there was going to be a big fight here, and I was like, I'm not looking forward to that. I'm looking forward to how they cleverly wrap this up, and they did deliver in that. And the Rune stuff was like that got me. I was like, what? I was right there with Greg too. I was like, what the hell is she doing? And then when it's revealed, when you see the first one, I was like, that's fucking clever.
That was awesome.
That's smart. You learned from something that happened the last episode. We bring that forward. There's the payoff. We get a payoff with Vision. The kids, whatever.
Yeah.
and then the Agnes payoff is great. Like where she's like, you're gonna need me. She goes, well, if I do, I'll know where to find you. And I'm like, wow, you are the bad guy, because that's a fucked up thing to do to someone. But hey,
I'm looking forward to when they need her.
Yeah, they're gonna.
That's coming. Whatever in 3 movies or not 3 years or whatever. I don't know how time works in MCU.
My issue with any of the fight scenes was visuals. Like I expected the visuals to be not on par with the movies. It was just that whole sort of vibe. And like Greg, you absolutely nailed it, saying when it starts off with the fights and it keeps going, I was not feeling much of any of that until again, that's not what really interested me in the show. It was the emotional moments between characters. It was it was the dialogue. It was seeing these characters bounce off back and forth, and I wanted to get back to that sort of emotional center. I wanted that shit to be depressing and cut deep. Like I wanted to feel sad, and during the whole action sequences, I just wasn't giving a shit until sort of the red sky moment. I think that's where I started to really dig that. And even though it was the blasts, like getting inside of her head, I out loud I was like, "Oh, gotcha, bitch!" Like, fuck yeah, that's so cool. And
when she went in there, that was like the first part. I was like, "All right, fuck yeah, here we go."
Yeah. I just thought that was super clever. But again, having the payoff with the Rune thing is, I think, the perfect way to have a payoff for something that was mentioned that wasn't, I'm going to beat this over the head, but still important enough that everybody remembers it and isn't like some random callback. Exactly. You're like, oh, really? That's the answer? That's kind of bizarre. Like if the final answer was, check out this bunny or whatever, like, or just like any of those, I think it was like the perfect callback. But yeah, I think the episode ended phenomenally. But how did, I have a question. How did Boner have Quicksilver powers?
With the necklace.
Got it. Okay.
So Agnes was sort of giving him those powers. That's why when she pulled it, he went back to Boner. By the way,
got it.
Greg probably got the
Growing
homage,
Pains.
But it's a reference to Growing Pains, the best friend on Growing Pains, whose name was Boner. And all throughout 80s, I was like, I don't think they should be calling this kid Boner. I'm a child, but even I know this is an inappropriate joke for a television show, and they know when to give a fuck. It was like 8 seasons.
two things I really, really, really liked about this episode and the show overall. But first off is the Scarlet Witch outfit. She looks
God, so good.
so
Yeah,
incredibly
cool.
dope. Costume design is fucking off the chain, and I love that we see the second version at the end with like the cloaky looking thing
Yeah.
over it. I'm like, fuck, this is so rad.
She's
And
perfect. I love her so much.
for so long, one of my biggest criticisms of the MCU is the, kind of whatever score, like character themes. And pretty much since Guardians, they've been doing a good job of having Guardians have a theme song, Doctor Strange have a theme song, and now Wanda has a song, and they keep giving it to her, which I really like, because eventually, when she's in other movies, we'll get hints of that. And I just think that's important for the character growth or character overall, like us understanding them. And the other thing I loved about the whole show, in this episode in particular, was how dark it is. Like, they committed to this being fucked up, and the story of what she did to these people is so grim and like dirty and nasty. And in this episode, seeing them kind of deal with it, and like Dottie like having that conversation with her, it's like, yo, this is really scary, actually.
Yeah.
And then her having to say goodbye as the hex is coming in. It's like putting the kids in the room. It's like, oh my God, this sounds like some real true crime shit. Like, oof.
Also, shout out to Deborah Jo Rupp from That 70 Show for just looking the exact same that she'd look back in the day. Like,
Always mom. Yeah.
amazing job.
It doesn't help that they actually dressed her in like some of those clothes still.
That's
like
true.
period-wise, you're like,
That's
that's
definitely
weird.
true.
So,
Um,
sorry.
I was just gonna say, like, I feel like the kids, her letting go of the kids and them dying, wasn't as impactful because like it still only has been a couple like weeks, right?
Yeah, but with all the way that their mind, like with the way that the hex works and the reruns and the sitcoms and all that, like we don't know, like all like
Yeah,
what
I
she
just
feels.
think that like
Yeah, she has the emotional connection. I mean, even though they're fake, she carried them, right? Like, there's something going on. And I mean,
For
and I'm
a
not
day.
at all saying it's for like, well, again, she's a witch and has superpowers. So I mean,
Well, the post credits kind of.
Yeah, but yeah, that's true. Maybe she
right.
back,
That's true. We do hear their voices.
For me, what it meant, what it was her letting go of everything that could have been, and that was, I think, to me, the sad thing where she's fine. To Greg's point, the whole thing is about her cycle of grief, right? Where she just like is still processing this death of what could have been her life with her husband and potentially having those children. And in that regard, I think that's why this series to me really, really shines, is that it's literally a physical manifestation of someone's grief. But if that person had enough grief to bring that shit into the real world. So to me, the kids that when they did tuck the kids in, I was like, okay, that is a good scene. But the more salient, more pressing scene to me was just that one with Vision. I think it was so beautifully written too, where he's like, "What am I?" She goes, "You're like my love and my hope and a little bit of my despair as well. You're all of this." And
Her
he's like,
performance
"Well, it was really." They're both great. I mean, but that's what's so cool about this series is that, like, I mean, this is no disrespect to TV actors, and it's not to say that like Randall Park can't obviously make the transition into movies, Kat Denning as well, and I'm sure Monica Rambeau's character will eventually be in movies as well, and I'm sure she'll do well. But Paul Bettany and Elizabeth Olsen are just fucking AAA, man. And when they share those scenes together, it really does elevate it. And it's and to our earlier points, like the effects and stuff, it's all serviceable to me. It's good enough to get to the point where when these two are on screen together, I'm really in and I'm really invested and I want to see more of it. Like I wanted to see him land at the end of the cabin and be like, "Hey, let's talk about this." But I know that's not right for the story yet, right? I know we don't deserve that just yet.
That's my thing with it, of like the questioning over what's going on with White Vision. And yeah, does death matter in the MCU if they're going to keep bringing back people like Gamora, like Vision, doing just a little bit different?
Loki.
Yeah, great point, Tim. For this Vision in particular, right? Like, I love Paul Bettany so much that I would fucking adore if they were like, we're doing WandaVision season 2, and obviously it's not this sitcom shit at all. It literally is this White Vision trying to figure out, eventually running into Scarlet Witch, them going, you know what I mean? Like having this whole thing and having Paul Bettany, it's because it like there's a bit of fourth wall breaking, like with the conversation you were talking about it, right, Kev? Of I started as a voice without a body, then I had a body but not a soul, and now I have a soul but I'm not. I'm in a dream. I wonder what I'll be next. Like Paul Bettany can play all those different things a little bit different enough to where we're getting such an interesting character study on what all these versions of Vision / Jarvis are, and so I'm so glad they figured out a way to possibly keep him in the MCU, but have it not be the same. And so we get to go through that experience again of watching him change and grow and learn again. we just did Civil War last night in our rewatch, and it's that, we're right in the thick of it then with WandaVision. It's just seeing how he's changed from Age of Ultron to Civil War to now WandaVision again. Like, it's crazy.
Before we get to the plot, let me tell you about our sponsors. This episode is brought to you by MeUndies. I love MeUndies. I've loved MeUndies since the day I first put them on my body, and I haven't been able to stop. How many times do I need to tell you? I'm wearing a MeUndies shirt right now. I'm wearing the lounge pants. I'm wearing the socks. I'm wearing the undies. Everywhere on my body has the soft micro-modal fabric. I can't believe how soft it is. I love it so much. And as long as they keep making new articles of clothing with it, I'm going to keep buying them. And you can do that too, getting 15% off your first order, free shipping, and 100% satisfaction guarantee by going to MeUndies.com/morning. And you're going to want to do it. Why wouldn't you? It's 100% satisfaction guarantee, and I guarantee you're going to be satisfied. Every single person I know that has tried these undies has fallen in love with them. Ain't that right, Kevin?
I love them. I'm wearing them right now.
I got Gia wearing them now. Greg Miller's been wearing them. Andy's wearing them. Everybody at Kind of Funny is wearing these because they are fantastic. Whether you like classic colors, just a black or a white or a gray, or if you want to get crazy, go bold, go adventurous, they got the options for you. Ton of fun things. Right now, I have some little foxes on me. Little foxes on a nice little light blue. And you too could do that. Get 50% off your first order, free shipping, and 100% satisfaction guarantee by going to MeUndies.com/morning. That's MeUndies.com/morning. Andy, hit it.
Plot, 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 plot. Plot, 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 plot.
WandaVision! WandaVision! I miss being in a studio where I can just scream all the time. You know what I mean? We're back and we have nothing, no rules. You know what I mean? Look
I
out, ladies.
love the moment of Andy having a panic attack of like, wait,
I don't remember what I used
which one was
to
this
say.
one?
Yeah.
And then, okay, there it is.
Welcome to WandaVision, ladies and gentlemen. Your first Disney Plus MCU show, and they fucking crushed it. I think we can all agree. Of course, we started this on episode 1, right, with an I Love Lucy parody where we did not have any idea what the fuck was going on. We were dropped right in. Wanda and Viz were new in town. They had a thing. They were walking around. They were living. Vision was working at a computer place or whatever it was called. I forget what it was called. But it was like, what do we make? And they couldn't give him a straight answer. And we started getting really early, right, that like, we don't know what's going on, but then Vision doesn't know what's going on, and how is Vision back and what's happening. And even for him and Wanda, right, there was the concern of the calendar that had a heart on the date, and they had no idea what the date was, and they should know the date's important, but they couldn't figure it out. Through hook or crook throughout the episode, we'd eventually find out it was that the hearts were coming over, and that's not really what it was, but what it was. And Wanda had to throw together a meal on the fly, but her neighbor Agnes Agatha is when she's bad, right? Agnes is when she's there. Yeah, okay. Agnes comes over. She's playing the Ethel role. She's fucking killing it. I was going to turn it to Nick here, but Nick's not here, so we'll wait. Nick, what the woman who's Agnes and Agatha, you love her. What's her name?
Catherine Hahn.
God, she's good.
That's
God,
what
is she
you
good?
him for?
You could have
And,
asked.
well, I know he's got. I know he's got.
us.
No, Nick's the #1 Catherine Hahn fan. How many times have you tweeted about it, Kevin? 0. All right.
I don't think that's true. Like, it doesn't matter. Let's go.
Kevin, please mute yourself for 10 seconds and think about what you've done. All right, thank you.
I'm so happy she's still going to be in the MCU in some way.
I can't. I'm so
God bless her.
stoked about it. Nick, even when we didn't know she was going to be the big bad, even though we all thought there might be things, and we were pointing out that Agatha Harkness and all that shit, blah blah. How much was she fucking crushing it in this first episode?
Oh, dude, yeah, absolutely. I mean, the casting for the show has been great across the board, but she's near and dear to my heart just because all the comedic work she's done with like Will Ferrell and all those crews, and like every time she pops up in stuff, it's one of those. She's one of those actors that I look at and I just think when you gonna get your comeuppance? When you gonna get your due? And obviously she had the HBO show that I think Kevin watched and really liked.
That's true.
That I haven't
did.
watched
Mrs.
yet.
Fletcher.
Yeah. And so that's cool. And so she's getting those roles, but I mean, talk about building just a great career. It's really hard to go from comedic actor to like serious actor.
Yeah.
And I think that she's perfectly cast in this because they realize we need her to be cheesy as shit at first and then fucked up at the end. And I think she nails that whole arc.
The Hearts come over for dinner, like I was saying. It's the traditional I Love Lucy, whatever 50 sitcom plot, right? Of the boss is there, and they Vision's angling for a promotion, so they've got to make a good impression on him. But this guy's a complete fucking dick. So Wanda's got a whole bunch of spells going in the kitchen that they try to hide from everybody. You got lobsters walking around. You got things floating in the air. Vision's trying to, keep the Hearts distracted as it goes, and yada, yada, yada. Eventually, though, they get to have dinner, and they sit down to have dinner, and then their reality, for the first time, tilts on its axis. We get a glimpse as what the fuck is actually happening here as they start to have a mental breakdown at the table as Mr. Hart starts to choke. Eventually he passes though, and we get we're getting these slow zoom ins. Like finally it stopped being the wide 50 shot like cameras on stilts. It was actually moving. We were getting some stuff. You saw them actually use cinematography to tell us that something different was happening in the world, and it was awesome. But yeah, Mr. Hart gets up. He has a great time. They've given the Vision the promotion. They leave and they sit down to watch TV, and that's when we get our first pan back out to find out that someone else, we're watching this TV show, but someone in the TV show world is also watching the TV show and studying what is going on. And that was our first time. I just got
chills.
Being left on the please stand by screen, and it was so fucking good. Up next, it was that we then jumped to the 60s. Bewitched, right? Yeah, we jumped to the Bewitched one, right? And this was the one where there was the scratching at the windows, right, at night. And so this motivates Viz to want to get on the neighborhood watch committee. Meanwhile, Wanda's at home trying to figure out what's going on, and she's starting to make friends with Dottie and stuff. They go to like the planning committee. They're doing like, the women's stuff of the 60s or whatever. This is where we meet Monica Rambeau. She's not Monica Rambeau. I forget what alias she's going under while she's there in the world, but it doesn't really matter. They meet at the planning committee thing. This is while that's happening, or maybe not while it's happening. There's been a lot of shows to watch over a lot of weeks. Vision, huh?
Geraldine.
Yes. Thank you very much, Andy Cortez. Mm-hmm. Kevin, I'd like you to award Andy 1 gold Spider-Man. Okay.
Oh.
I know. It's MCU review. We're back. We're out of mothballs. We got to be nailing it. We got to be killing it out here.
Andy, can you please make 1 gold Spider-Man graphic for Kevin to award you? Thank you.
God damn it.
Vision goes to the neighborhood watch committee. It seems that everything's perfect. Nobody's really worried about anything, but then he eats some gum and accidentally swallows it when they pat him on the back, and that's going to gum up the works. While Scarlet Witch is at the...
It made me really uncomfortable, by the way. The idea of like gum in somebody's gears.
Like, totally, it's gross. Yeah, you know what I mean?
Like, how's he going to recover?
While Wanda's at the thing, the radio's playing, and by the way, Dottie's a complete bitch, but it turns out she was cast away, so we can't be mad at her. The radio's playing, and then it starts to get interference of a person on the other end saying, Wanda, who's doing this to you, trying to break through. Again, reality kind of goes off kilter for a second and then fixes itself. At this point, it's time for the talent show in the neighborhood. They were going to do magic. They'd already been practicing it. Vision shows up and he acts drunk because he's got the gum in him, gumming up his works or whatever. So he's, their whole thing here is like, oh, we're going to hide our powers. But Vision starts using the powers in the act, which Wanda has to then start counterbalancing with her powers and making it look like he's being raised by ropes on pulleys and all these different things. And everybody's like having a great time and thinks it's just the funnest magic of all time. Eventually they get the gum spit out of Vision though, and that's great. And so they win the talent show or whatever. They get a lot of applause from Dottie or whatever. And then something happens here with Geraldine. It's not that she breaks, right? She just says something. She gets put in the box, and she's like, how did I get in the box or whatever? And then she has some kind of conversation here, right?
Yeah.
Right? Okay.
What's in the box?
Yeah.
What's in the box? It's me, Geraldine. Hey, everybody. It's me, Geraldine, and I'm here to tell you I'm in the box. They go back home. I drop my Thor hammer like I always do in the middle of a show. Then Wanda becomes pregnant, right? Yeah, this is where she all of a sudden is pregnant. They're like, wow, what the fuck's going on? And then... Really they go outside. They go outside, right? And the beekeeper's there. The beekeepers. This is when the beekeeper comes out of the thing, and she just goes, "No." It's like, yeah, right. And then,
yeah, that's right.
He's fine. He's working somewhere else.
He's still down there. He's like, I hope I can come out now. I hope
God damn, can I get the
living on sewer rats and cockroaches.
Any day they'll give me the signal.
He keeps yanking the cord. Nobody yanks back, and it's just one sad
wait for Hayward to call me back.
What was his name?
On his radio.
He was the one that was named Franklin, right? They referred to as Franklin.
Franklin and Bash.
Yeah, great show.
Franklin Best. That's right.
I think I hear that's coming to Disney Plus soon.
Thank God.
Ant-Man's going to be in it. So then we jump from there to the 70s. Everything's colorized. Well, that's how it happened last time. The colors happened. Wanda's super pregnant, getting more pregnant by the day. They realize, of course, this isn't right. But Vision, of course, is like, well, it's also weird that I'm some kind of synthetic android made of vibranium that knocked you up. So, like, you know what? Things are happening quicker. He starts coming up with numbers and, you know, when it's going to happen and how it's going to happen and whatever. The doctor comes by and visits. He says she is perfectly healthy, but the baby's going to be here in X amount of time, but he's going to Hawaii or whatever vacation, Fiji maybe, I forget where he's going. While that is happening, Geraldine's still in play here, and then by the end of it, she'll have woken up, but no, she's just in play here. And they start decorating the place, and the stork comes alive, and Geraldine's giving a whole speech about how she got a promotion at work, and I forget what Viz is doing during this. But eventually he's got to run off and get the doctor because Wanda goes into labor. Yeah.
Wasn't he at work talking to one of the people?
Is this where we get the conversation with the other computer guy? Where he breaks him out of it for a second and he's like, oh God, you got to help me. Is there a phone? Can I talk to somebody? And he puts it back into it.
My dad.
Very creepy, very terrifying.
Yeah, not good.
Yeah, if that's where it was, that was great. If it's not, it happens later and it's also great. Don't worry about it. But yeah, so then Wanda goes into labor. Vision goes to get the doctor, who's about to leave on his vacation, but he grabs him and then carries him back. But we won't be there yet. Geraldine is still there, shows up there, and she helps. Agnes has been doing stuff throughout the day, and they've been hiding the pregnancy from her with stuff in front of her, Wanda's belly, like you would on a sitcom, because it's
Classic.
great. Yeah, exactly. Geraldine helps deliver the two boys. That's great. The doctor arrives. He gives the boys a clean bill of health. Vision walks the doctor out. Geraldine is still inside. On the outside, we see Herb talking to Agnes, and she's still in there. Whatever. There's some whispered tones, and Vision goes over and is like, "What's going on?" And they get kind of weird about it, and they're like, "Oh, blah." And then Agnes, of course, lays out the fact that like Geraldine's in there, and like she doesn't have a home. She doesn't have a partner. She's not supposed to be here, and it's one of those like. At the time we read it, or maybe you didn't, you're smarter than me. At the time you read it as in world, these characters under understanding that this one isn't one of us. Like she's, flying the ointment kind of thing. In reality, obviously, Agnes is very much that as well, but not so much as like something's wrong here as much as like, hey, this is really bad. Yeah, Tim?
I think they did a really good job in this show of setting up questions that they're asking in universe that actually make sense in universe and are interesting for us to think about and to kind of like work around. And the way that this all starts slowly breaking down, I feel like they always had a really satisfying answer for what exactly was going on at that moment. They showed us it in really clever ways. Nick.
Yes, I agree with you, Tim, and that's one of the strengths of the series. And then also, Greg, can you please refer to Tim as Scarlet Tim Twitch? What was it, Andy? Timch. Thank you from now on. Thank you, Tim.
That's I will lie. I'm not gonna lie to you. That's a hard one to say. It probably won't. Probably
just Scarlet Tim. Scarlet Tim from now on.
Tim. There's got to be something better we could do.
No, it's
Scarlet
about
Witch.
what we do. Like that's a quality you can
Okay.
That's the
Second
level
one,
of comedy that we've
Second one,
always done.
Timothy Maximoff.
Scarlet Gettys. Could we
Tim.
just do Scarlet Gettys?
Yeah, that's
sure.
good. That's good. Scarlet
Okay,
Gettys.
cool.
Good's not
And
the
then-
right word.
And
for that.
we're going with
Yeah.
Tim. That's the thing.
I like Tim.
Tim. All right,
so hard.
we got it.
Tim's
I'll
so-
do my best
Tim's
here.
just so bad and
Greg,
so
you're
like
professional,
so
you got
brand
it.
for our level of
Yeah,
joke.
it's so on brand for
Tim.
who I am and how I look. I'm
It's
the
totally Timothy Rimothy comedy right there.
All right, first off, fuck you. That is a joke that has sustained Paula,
Paula.
Timothy, Rimothy. It's all they've
But
all
it
that's been
shouldn't,
gold.
is what I'm saying. It should.
Neither of those are good.
I'll let you know
Neither
for
of
our
them are good.
dozens of fans, they love those references. All right, don't worry about it. Okay, so then meanwhile on the inside, Geraldine is there with Wanda. She's named the kids Tommy and Billy, and then Geraldine's like, "Didn't you have a brother? Didn't you have a brother? Or yeah, right? Didn't you have a twin?" And she's like, "Yeah, I did. His name isn't his name Pedro." I'm mixing up a whole bunch of dialogue here, but basically, he was killed by Ultron, and that's when Wanda's like, "What did you say?" And like they look at each other, and then there's like the standoff, and you can see that Geraldine's breaking from it, but then gets sucked back into it. But then Wanda won't let it go that she knows too much. Then this conversation probably happening outside with Vision. Vision comes back in, and it's just Wanda taking care of the twins. And Vish is like, what happened to Geraldine? She's like, oh, she had to go home. And then this is when we
Really
are
scary.
cut outside the bubble for the first time, right? And it's Geraldine getting thrown out through it, crashing to the ground as Monica Rambeau, everybody running up to it. And that's when we get the please stand by for that one. That's where we get the sword agents coming around, and boom, that's it. That's the end of that episode.
I think
which
that was
fantastic.
the most hint of like sort of horror vibes, getting that really creepy energy from Wanda with that look and just the way she's acting, and that's where I'm just like, I don't like this. I'm really scared right now because it was the most uncomfortable I had felt all series with it, because you knew that something was wrong, and for her to just be gone and say, oh, she had to go home, and Vision just kind of wanting to question it, but also, I'm kind of just programmed to be here anyway, so I guess I'll just go along with it. Just really, really freaky.
From there, then we get to my personal, I think, favorite episode, and it's probably because of where it's built up to from where we were or whatever. Episode 4 is then the one that breaks it all out, where we start with the undoing, or I guess not the undoing. We start with the blip, right? Coming back from the snap or whatever, and Monica reforming in her mother's hospital room, obviously 5 years later, and then the pandemonium in the hospital as people have come back from being snapped out of existence. Of course, all while this is happening, all the Avengers and Thanos are fighting Thanos. It's just so fucking cool, so fucking cool. And I think, like, for me personally, some of the best effects in the show, like the entire series, because it looked so good of her reforming and coming back into it. And like the panic of running through there, and the guy like, do you have a phone? I need to call my wife. Like, I know we talked about it, just to drive it home if you haven't been watching the reaction content. I think it was Tim who was talking about, like, it was Tim, right? Of watching Spider-Man Homecoming, and then on the in-flight Spider-Man Far From Home, and on the in-flight entertainment, they had the Blip, the documentary about like that. I want them to do that. Make a 1-hour documentary about the Blip and have it be people's conversations about the moment it happened and then the return and all this shit. Like, fuck, that would be good. That'd be so good.
It's such a cool
Just
concept.
go do it. Anyway, so pandemonium, people come back. Monica finds out her mom didn't die from the cancer. She died later. Well, maybe it was cancer, but she didn't die at that moment. Yeah, it was. She didn't die 5 years later. Yeah, exactly. 5 years before, they beat the surgery went well and they beat cancer, and then 3 years. I'm sorry, did you just say, Kevin? 2 years. It came back and killed her mom.
3 years. Yeah.
Okay, so while she was gone, from there, we're launched back into Monica being back in the real world. She goes back to Sword, where what's his name? Henderson, Hackney,
Hayward.
Yeah.
Hayward has been promoted up into the position that Monica probably would have gotten if she hadn't left, but a whole bunch of people got blipped away. So he is now in charge, and she wants back on the job. So he puts her back on the job and sends her out to Westfield to investigate something that's going on out there. She gets out there and meets the one and only Jimmy Woo, right? He does the card trick everybody loves, and the callback to Ant-Man and the Wasp, which everybody loves, which is amazing.
So good.
By the way,
yeah.
Last episode, were you guys not expecting him to be like whoosh and just take him off with magic, the cuffs?
I loved it. He still did it when he took it off, and he's like, in flourish. Like, he still did the
true.
magic thing. It's still totally crushed.
I was hoping he would just be like, the guy would be leaving and he would just be like, wow. Like, to himself, which I guess he did, but they had to show him with a little thing. And I was like, oh, that was not, you didn't need to do that.
Well, I don't know if you know this. Like, I don't think magicians can just get out of regular handcuffs. I think that's part of the trick. You use different handcuffs, not to try to pull it back. I know you got thrown out of a magic shop in San Francisco once and never went back. So
no, technically, I never
was a
even
bad
entered
day.
the magic shop because I had a soda, and me and Kevin, the guy was like, you can't come in with the soda, and Kevin went, fuck you, and I was like, burn it down, Kevin.
When Jen first came to visit,
I was like, we're done. We're never coming here again.
We're
I've
never coming
always
back
wanted
here.
to
when
come
Jen
into this shop.
first came to visit years
Still
and years
wanna
and
go?
years ago now, we were walking through San Francisco in the Sunset. We walked by there. She's like, oh, that's a cute shop. And I'm like, I've never been in it, and I never will. She's like, why? And I was like, they wouldn't let Nick in with the soda. I refuse to go in out of principle alone. She's like, damn. And that's how you understood my loyalty.
I appreciate it, man.
So
Thank you.
Jimmy's there with a bunch of two cops, and they won't let him pass pretty much. And they're like, the town doesn't exist. Yeah, the Westfield doesn't exist. And they're standing with their backs to a giant sign that says "Welcome to Westfield." And there's clearly a town there. Something is going on, but what could it possibly be? They sit there and talk about it for a while, but eventually Monica walks up to it and then walks into it and walks onto the other side of it. Then what? Hayward comes out with his team and they surround it, right? They make a big deal, and then they bring in Darcy. I feel like I'm missing something there.
No, I think
but it
they bring
escalates.
Then it cuts to Darcy coming in that bus where she has she's
The
asking
other scientist, right, who won't talk. Yeah.
Right. And then there's the nerd one, and we see that the van that she's in like get to the now like little tent city that they've built.
Yeah.
And that's when we see Hayward, right?
Yeah. We'll say so. There's a whole bunch of sword people there. Now all our cast of characters are together, either in the hex or out of the hex. Which Darcy names the hex, I think, in this episode. But they start fooling around, and Darcy finds interference that then she notices our waves, so she asks for an old TV. She gets an old TV. Sure as shit, she sees the first episode of WandaVision that we saw on her black and white TV. They are actually broadcasting out these things. And then as the episode goes on, we understand that it's Darcy watching the end of episode 1 when we saw her there. Cool. Exactly. This is the episode that starts filling all the gaps, right? We see them send in the person who will be the beekeeper of him going out there and doing it. We're on episode 4 or 5 right now of In Review. You're fine. You got time to get out of here. But let me tell you how it ends all the same, all right? Let's just say Scarlet Witch, giant buffalo.
It's crazy.
Buffalo.
It was
She's
a
a sentient
choice.
buffalo. You know what I mean?
Choice.
This entire time.
Yeah, a bold choice.
They send in the dude who, as soon as you cross the hex, you become part of the narrative world. So he goes from being, this hardcore dude on a rope to being a beekeeper on a
hardcore
jump rope.
dude on a rope. That's exactly how I describe that guy.
I mean, Tim, I don't mean to correct you, but if you go to IMDb,
Oh, shit.
you look at the
Hardcore
cast
dude.
list. Hardcore dude on a rope.
On a rope.
Oh, there's other hardcore dudes in the show. So they go in there. He pops out. It's the thing. I skipped at some point. They send in a drone that turns into the helicopter that crashed out there too, as well. That Wanda had found or whatever. Yada yada yada.
Does this episode ends with Wanda leaving and throwing the drone at them?
No.
Or is that
This episode, no. This episode ends with I got there in the end. This is catching everything up. This episode ends with us seeing the Wanda confrontation from the inside of the house, where Wanda's like, "You don't belong here." Blah blah blah. I'm just trying to help you. And boom, she blasts Monica out the side of the house, out of the hex onto the ground, right? And then closes up the wall or whatever, showing us that she's the one, at least at this point, doing it, right? And then the Vision comes back in, and Wanda turns around. She sees him dead with the thing ripped out of his head. And it's this jump scare or whatever that I'm sure Andy got. It went, "Hi, puppy."
I didn't like it. I didn't like it very much.
That was the scariest.
He went, go.
Yeah, at that point,
No,
I was
Andy,
like,
what's the thing you say when you're scared?
Dios mío, I know.
No, something like, yeah,
I
you got a
wait.
good one. I wait, that's it. Yeah. Anyways, then they sit down, they watch TV, and it ends giving us this thing of like, oh man, like to some extent, Wanda's in control, and it's bad news bears, right? So then we're into the next episode. Now we're in the shit.
80s.
It's the 80s one, but with the Family Ties intro, right? So fucking good. Remember Nick with the painting and the stuff's going on and everything is amazing. Awesome. The boys are
Baby
babies.
Vision. So good.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Not which, I wish, we always criticize spoiler culture on Twitter, right? People just kind of getting in their way too soon. I was surprised I didn't see a whole lot of Baby Visions. I saw like a couple of sites tweeting out some images. I needed a lot more making fun of Baby Vision. He looked fucking doofy.
You can be the change you want to see in the world. Go be the change you want to see.
It's true.
That's true.
This episode, I don't remember. This is where the kids age up. You know what I mean? They're young babies at the start, and then they age them up really quick to show that even though they're out now, things are happening. They get the dog.
Oh, you
Sparky.
know what? I see. I'm an idiot.
What?
I'm looking at the IMDb list. I'm like, why are all these episodes out of freaking order? And it's because I had them sorted by rating. And also, while looking at it, I was like, wow, every episode went down in rating as it went on. It makes sense.
Good job, Andy. Good job.
Oh, great.
Oh, let me see that. No, throw up Baby Vish. Yeah, look at that. That's a cute baby.
I didn't
You know what I
notice
mean?
I didn't notice this until you guys brought it up right
Vision
now.
baby.
Yeah.
That's
Oh, like there are other versions of it that were like not necessarily toddler version of Baby Viz, but maybe he was like 5-6 years old.
Fun fact: took him 5 hours to get that kid into makeup.
Damn.
I don't know why
Nick,
it's
that
so
was
funny
really
to me.
funny.
He's like
Yeah,
a
funny.
makeup shotgun on him from The Simpsons. Just
I like the idea of him like in the chair, like it is 4 a.m. and I'm getting ready for makeup.
He's
They're
like
saying
technical,
this
so
will
he
be,
just
this
sits
will
there
make
and
me-
falls asleep.
Yeah.
Mark Freeman, who I believe in the chat says that is actually Paul Bettany's baby photo.
That's cute. That's smart.
So yeah, stuff happens in this episode, right? I'm hazy on this one. I won't lie to you, but they send in a drone from the 80s because they're like, this is when they had the thing of like, if it's from that time period, it won't be rewritten as badly.
Yeah.
That's
They have the discussion where Hayward is like, she's a terrorist. We got to take care of this.
Oh, you got no name for her or whatever? Is this?
Yeah. This is sort of where I think Randall Park and Kat Dennings realize, oh, like, are we the baddies, sort of thing?
Sure. Yeah, the drone
They get
comes
the dog
in.
also.
Yeah, I said we mentioned Sparky. Sparky's,
sorry.
Sparky's fine. Sparky's on the cast list. Don't worry about that.
All right.
He's right there next to hardcore guy on the rope. And so yeah, the drone comes in, and then this is the one she throws back out, and yeah.
She comes out, has the confrontation, right, wearing her actual like old outfit.
Yeah, and she's like,
Turns the
leave my
guns.
family alone kind of shit. Yeah, it turns the guns on him. Yeah. Is this when Kat Denning is tied up to the thing and she expands the field? I feel like that's too early.
that's
is that right?
later.
That's later.
That's what's fucking me up is I'm thinking of the
remember that's Vision.
Is that when Vision
walking out-
almost dies?
walking
Okay.
out, yeah,
Okay.
getting
Thank you.
ripped
Thank
apart.
you.
So
Yeah,
Vision
this is
starts questioning all the things, and like that. This is the one that ends with the Quicksilver reveal, where he's just like questioning Wanda, and she's like, "I'm not doing this."
Yeah, that's what I was getting to. Personally, for this episode, the thing I think is most remarkable, obviously, is the Quicksilver reveal that we all freaked out for, hoping it would be something that it wouldn't just be boner next door, but it's just the next door neighbor fucking boner. And I understand. I'm not mad. I'm just saying. I was hoping it would go somewhere else. But then the next episode is the Halloween episode, and that's fucking fantastic. We love Halloween here. And so, yeah, as you said, Tim, Vision was starting to piece it together, but they didn't want to talk about it. So now there's a rift here, right? Vision wants to know more about it, but he needs to start subterfuging. So he says he can't take the kids out for Halloween because he's got to go be part of the neighborhood watch when in fact he just wants to go investigate what the fuck's happening here. Wanda's upset about this, but Pietro, her brother, will in fact be the male father figure or whatever and take them out. Of course, this leads to them the kids wearing their costumes from the comics, and also Quicksilver wearing his comic accurate Quicksilver outfit, which is dope as hell, right, Tim?
Very, very dope. But I will say one of my bigger disappointments of this series is not getting a Quicksilver Fox style scene.
Sure.
And we got a hint of it in that episode, but would have been awesome.
It's a lot of CG.
Yeah, I know. That's what you sacrifice, I guess, by not having him be the same guy, right? And trying to get away from that. But I'm with you. It would have been cool.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's Halloween. They go around, like you're saying, Quicksilver and the kids run around, steal a bunch of candy, and do a bunch of shenanigans or whatever. Wanda eventually runs into Herb on the street and is like, "Hey, yeah, I haven't seen Vision." He's like, "Oh, he's not working the watch tonight." Meanwhile, Vision is in a different section of town where people are just like frozen in place because they're not actually being used, and there's like a tear running down. He tries to talk to somebody, they can't talk to him, so he does the thing where he breaks them out, he breaks
Really
somebody else out. And
Catherine Hahn.
yeah, okay.
Agnes.
So he just sees people. He tries to talk to an old woman on the street in the cul-de-sac. It doesn't work. And then, he runs into Catherine Hahn at the edge of town where, Wanda had told the kids in stress, like, don't go past East Street or whatever it was. Yeah.
Which is really
he breaks
far
her
from my
out.
house, look like.
Yeah, and she's just parked at the edge of town, the edge of known magic or whatever. And, Vision breaks into her brain and it gets her out of it. And she explains, like, oh, my God, we're all trapped here. Yeah, blah, blah, blah.
And the whole time Hayward's been tracking Vision in the Hex.
Right. Yeah, he is. Yeah, Darcy and Jimmy figured that out on the outside, right? Monica probably too. I forget where. Yeah, did they get arrested yet? I don't even remember. Man, hacking's always the coolest. I know what I mean.
Which I can do.
So then this is where Vision leaves. Vision's like, I got to see what's up on the other side of the wall. He starts pushing through the wall. He gets out. Everybody runs over there. He starts falling apart and getting sucked back in and breaking down. One of the kids, who's the telepath, hears Dad screaming.
That's his
what?
name. Magic.
Okay, what's his kid name though? Tommy or Billy or
Tommy.
Bobby? Billy Joe?
It's Billy. I think it's Billy.
Billy Joe
Bimmy.
Armstrong.
Tommy.
Billy Joe Armstrong hears Vision going through the
Nailed
wall
it.
on the other
Nailed
side
it.
and
That's
breaking
exactly
down. Tells Wanda, she flips out. And so she expands the wall, right? Some of the sword people run away. Darcy's chained to the car, so she can't get away.
She knocks the shit out of Boner.
Speed and Wiccan are the superhero kid
Yeah,
names.
my bad.
And Billy Joe Armstrong's Wiccan. Got it. The wall expands, turns everybody into circus people. They're out there doing their thing. Saves Vision, of course. Monica and Jimmy were already gone.
They're driving.
Yeah, they're going to see their
That's
friend
right.
on the ridge or whatever, right? That
The
was a big thing.
aerospace engineer.
Yeah, that we all
the
thought was
truck.
going to be really cool, and it wasn't. It was just a guy who had a woman and some people who had a truck. But we're loyal to Monica's mom, so that's cool or whatever. Yeah, and so now we're in the Modern Family episode, right?
Mm-hmm.
Modern Family Office episode, the
Breaking the
early
fourth wall.
2000s one. That's what it's called.
Yeah.
Breaking the fourth
Happy
wall.
endings. Yeah.
I didn't like the. I just wanted to put one note that I didn't like that
Please.
they did the Office intro. I know that it's one of those things, but it just broke. Like every other intro that we got was like a family sitcom, and the Office just isn't. So it was interesting that they
Jim and Pam have kids by the end there. So there you go. You just shot yourself in the foot. Also,
It's a
some would say
different
that
kind of
even
family.
before they had a family, Michael kept a family there at the office. It's very familiar. Isn't that right, Andy?
Michael also brought in his nephew in one of the episodes.
It's true. It's true.
I'm not wrong.
So, Kevin, I'll accept your apology in 3, 2, 1.
Fuck you.
Man, harsh words for
Kevin-
you, Andy. Kevin, I'll still wait for your apology whenever you want to give it to me. Anyways, this one's another really, I think, a standout one. I like this one a lot. They're shooting it like Modern Family with the confessionals. The one shot's talking to the camera. Wanda needs a day to herself kind of thing is the idea here. There's a huge division between her and Vision because obviously Vision knows this is completely fucked and I need to figure out what's going on. Pietro is still there and he's with the boys and they're like, okay, we'll fuck off and give you. Oh no, Pietro's not there. He was there in the beginning, right? But then he fucks off for something else and then Agnes takes care of the boys.
Doesn't he gets like pushed away and then disappears?
In
right?
Halloween, does he get pushed away and doesn't
Halloween,
come back in this episode? Did I fuck that up? Okay, then it
Yeah,
was
you
in
did.
Halloween where they were playing video games together and being a bunch of butts. Anyway, sorry.
Though, actually,
It doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter.
Yeah, it doesn't.
It doesn't matter. Yeah, well, this is where she's losing control, right? So the controllers are changing, and like
Yeah.
it's a Wiimote, it's an Atari thing, it's all sorts of different things. So she passes them off to Agnes, which seems like a good idea at the time. It will turn out not to be. Vision, meanwhile, is still like, I'm gonna go do whatever the fuck I'm gonna go do, but he's really just gonna go and try to investigate more of what this is going on. He goes out to the circus, and that's where he finds Darcy, who doesn't remember him, but then he breaks Darcy out, and she explains a bit more what's going on. They get in an ice cream truck or whatever and drive away. We get a whole bunch of things where she recaps him dying and dying again, and it's really cool. And then she's even like, wow, there's a lot of red lights here, and there's a whole bunch of stuff that keeps getting in their way as Wanda tries to slow down their progression to getting to her. Meanwhile,
That was all one of my least favorite plot points, or least satisfying at least, is Darcy getting into the hex and
They did nothing with that.
Yeah,
Well, I guess-
like understanding what's going on from the outside world, but in the hex, like all she did was kind of crash a truck, which
Yeah.
To
felt
Hayward,
really
yeah.
kind of whatever.
That's true. That's true.
I really thought that was going to have a lot more significance as the show went on, and she pops up, it hits Hayward. I was like, oh, that's where she's been. She's getting in the car.
Cool. She was still driving over here. It took a really long time.
A
To
lot of lights. A lot of lights.
So then, yeah, on the outside, Monica and Jimmy are with the aerospace people, and they're going to drive a fucking truck in there, and the truck doesn't go really easily. And then she's like, no, it can't go. And so she pushes through, and that's when we get the Captain Marvel dialogue, and she becomes Photon, and her eyes get all weird, and then she's on the other side, and she's like, yeah, I'm on the other side. And I did not like the outfit they had her in here of this, like, sword Under Armour thing, but that's just me. Put her in something cooler. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Even
Oh,
with just
it-
I
normal clothes.
guarantee she'll get it.
Oh, I know. Yeah,
Captain
when they have
Marvel,
it.
too.
Yeah, I was gonna say when they have an MCU movie budget, she'll have a really cool suit.
Yeah.
Here she can't steal Scarlet Witch's moment, right, of having a cool suit. So she's through. She's in. She runs over and confronts Wanda. Right? Yeah, they have a conversation out in front of the house where she's like, "This ain't real. Yada yada. I know you know this better." Blah 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 blah. And then Agnes is there, and she's like, "Hey, fuck off." And Wanda, come with me or whatever. And she brings Wanda into the house where the kids are. And so she gets her in there and she's like, I'll make you a cup of tea or whatever. And then like, it's that hold on to something, Wanda starts piecing together, like something's not right in this weird house. You got a cicada, you got a rabbit. These aren't companions you should have. And then she's like, where are the boys? And they say, oh, the boys are downstairs in the basement. They're playing. Meanwhile, yeah, Vision eventually was like, wait, why am I sitting here? And then he breaks out of the interview too of like, why am I talking to you about this? And he flies away. I loved that bit. He flies away. Then Wanda goes downstairs, and this is the reveal of Agnes actually being Agatha. And like the runes are there on the wall. Wanda can't cast her magic. We see the dark book over there. And she's the real. It's me all along. And then they play the fun song, and it was Agatha all along. And everybody freaks out on the internet. And it's just a great time.
Love it.
Now we're in the flashback episode, which again, just a fucking stellar. Goddamn, what a penultimate episode here, right? This is setting up everything of how we got here. So it's Agatha's backstory of her being a witch back in Salem, where you think, oh, they're going to burn her because she's a witch. No, they're going to burn her because they're also witches, and this witch sucks. And it's like, guess what, though? She just sucks up the magic. She's a big old sponge. She's going, it's just sucking up all that magic, right? Any magic that she's just getting it, you know what I mean? Think of like a goldfish in a tank eating some fish flakes. That's Agatha, but the fish flakes are magic. Anyways, and the tank is like the world, and the water is the air that Agatha exists in. You know, you got it. You understood. I don't have to get into this level of detail for
You're
you.
crushing it, man. It's kind of like
Remember,
how we
Agatha breathes air. The fish breathes water.
Greg,
you know
what about
I mean?
the little
Gills.
castle you put inside of the fishbowl? What is that?
Well, that I like to, in a lot of ways, think.
Jesus God. There it is.
I was able to keep up. Couldn't get there in time. I apologize. So yeah, you know, she's a super bad witch. She sucks everybody's power. She's been fucking just draining people dry for, forever. And so as Agatha goes on to explain all this, right? She's been out there and she's a witch and she's a real powerful witch. But then look at this. I see this witch doing a hex shit over here. I had to come see what this is all about. And so let's walk. And she's like, I'm not a witch. She's like, yeah, you're a fucking witch. Like, let's walk through all the stuff. So we go through all the like pivotal grief moments in Wanda's life to understand why she's so hung up on grief and why she was able to do this. And so we go to her getting her powers, or not, I'm sorry, her first real manifestation of her powers, which is when her parents were killed, which they do a pretty good job of, recreating here from Age of Ultron of, it's this family in Sokovia. They're chillaxing. They're going to watch some DVDs the dad couldn't sell. They open them up. These are a bunch of American sitcoms, exactly, where they speak English and they learn English by watching these sitcoms, which then explain why, Wanda's got a hang up and knows so much about sitcoms, which is great. I thought it was really, really interesting way to do this.
Crashes in, and then Pietro's like, you did not see that coming.
A super cool Easter egg that I saw on Reddit was in this scene when they were little kids, when the mom and dad are there, the dad covers the mom's eyes, or they cover someone's eyes and give them the kiss, and it's the Sokovian greeting that they reference in the sitcom episode of episode 1.
Interesting.
Oh, that's very cool. I didn't know that at all. I didn't catch that at all.
Yeah, there's a whole bunch of things that, like, in the later episodes were little tiny things in the first ones, like the doll we see in the sitcom episodes that Vision's changing when it's like preparing to learn how to take care of kids and all that type of stuff, and so many different things like that, which is very cool.
So yeah, we're here now, and so then now the Stark Industries missile comes in. They're fighting in the street. There's a skirmish. A Stark rocket comes in, lands, kills the parents, but doesn't go off. Pietro and Wanda hide underneath the bed, and then Agatha breaks the fourth wall of this scene. Is like, oh, here we go, and like you're casting this probability spell or whatever, right? Wasn't what she called it, or like lowering the probability of the bomb going off or whatever. And you didn't know you were doing it's instinctual magic. Yay. Then we jump to Wanda being tested on and interacting with the Mind Stone for the first time when it's still Loki's staff, getting her abilities woken up from there. It's what would have happened pre-Age of Ultron when she was running with the bad guy whose name is escaping me right now, but you remember him. He wore the little monocle and got his ass kicked. He is Strucker, thank you very much. Yeah, with a name like Strucker, it's got to be good. That was a Smucker's Jane reference. If you're keeping up with my Easter eggs, I tell you what, Disney, you're not the only one who can do things.
This is God.
Nick, did you ever notice that the guy who narrates the Smucker's ads sounds a lot like the guy who narrates the Cadbury cream egg commercial? Just putting that out there. If any internet sleuths are watching, I'd like to know some information about that, man. All right.
We're about to get to the bottom of this deep state conspiracy.
With a name like Strucker, it's got to be good. Come on. That's I see IGN. IGN, I don't know where they stole all these licenses, but they're just printing T-shirts for WandaVision and Ninja Turtles and shit. There's one for you. There you go. Put it out. You know what I mean? With a name like Strucker. And then it's a little jar of jam. It's got the guy's eye. What now? Am I giving up on what, Kev?
And kind of funny shirts. Like, why isn't that when you're?
Oh no! If we did that, we'd get sued, right? That's why we had to make like bootleg Marvel ones. Don't tell Kevin. Don't tell Kevin Feige. All right. But IGN apparently they just got everything. I see they're making Animal Crossing shirts over there. I don't know what's going on. Per Schneider's got dirt on somebody. Anyways, I digress. So this is her getting her powers and touching the thing. She touches the thing, it goes off. We see the Scarlet Witch that she'll become, like outlined with her thing. She looks like Tim.
Love it.
You know what I mean? And she falls down, and that's when Agatha's
Call
like,
me
oh,
by my
okay.
name, Greg.
God damn it,
The
Greg.
Scarlet Bitch. I forgot what it was. Scarlet Rimothy? What is it? I don't remember what it is.
Scarlet Timwitch.
Scarlet
Timwitch.
Not Kevin.
It's just brilliant. I did want to say, do you think we'll see this in some later movie? Like her somehow going back in time and giving herself abilities? Or is this something we see?
I don't think so. I still stand by that the Scarlet Witch is kind of like Phoenix or whatever, where it's like this thing that like I don't know, like it's imprinting itself. I don't know.
I do think there were some things that Agatha said at the end there where she was like...
There's a lot she says at the end, right? Of like, you have no idea what you've unleashed and what you're doing. And like, what does this mean? What are you talking about?
Sorcerer Supreme, name drop, all that stuff.
Yeah.
I love what they're doing with Wanda's character here, and I like this Sokovian Scarlet Witch like being bigger than it is. I've never heard a comic storyline like that. I think it's really interesting and a lot cooler than the things that we would expect from it of just like, oh, she's a mutant in this. It's like, no, there's actually more to Scarlet Witch as an idea that I'm stoked to hear more about.
So the idea, yeah, is that she already had the blatant abilities, but since she wasn't learning how to use them, they wouldn't have gone anywhere. But the Mind Stone kind of kickstarts them, right? Like Tony does, kickstart it. And so you did it, Nick. Thank you. So that's how she got like super Scarlet Witch powers. Did we already talk about this? No, that's later on. Don't worry about it. Shush. Then did she already name her Scarlet Witch? That was last episode, right? When she's like, "You're the thing,
You're
in the
the
prophecy,
Scarlet
you're the
Witch."
Scarlet Witch.
Yeah,
Or
it's
is that
the end.
this
It's
episode?
at the end of the. No, it was the end of the last episode.
Okay, cool. We
So
missed
when
that.
she's
That's the
floating,
big
she's
part.
like, "This is chaos magic. You don't even know who you are. You're the Scarlet Witch." And then everyone's like, and then I was like, "Is that how she got her name?"
First time we've said
Well,
it.
yeah. Was that the first time we've ever heard that name? Like
I
in
think
any
so.
MCU
I think so.
stuff?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So was she just Wanda before always?
Yeah, they never gave her. They remember this is the whole joke from earlier, where they never no funny name when he's talking to Jimmy. He's like, no funny name, no weird name for her, and that's when we were thinking maybe that guy was from a different universe and he was going to be like he knew Scarlet Witch.
Because every time,
Yeah,
every time Paul Bettany walks up, it's just always Wanda.
Wanda.
That's,
Would you like some
actually really
paprika?
cool and a really nice little setup with that. That's
The only
cool.
thing they did is in Age of Ultron, Tony says, "Don't let this witch mess with your mind," but he doesn't call her like Scarlet Witch or anything. And it's not like uppercase in captions or anything. You know what I mean? So the proper respect isn't put on it. Kevin, here's what I need to know right now to stop the show for a second. What's the last number? Is this a 1984 shirt? What do we got going on here? Because it's covered by every time I think about it, I can't see it. Are you in
This
a
is
biker
a shirt
gang?
that I think Nick would really like. I
So
bought it.
Stand
and I was
up,
thinking about
stand up and
1981.
slap
Stand
your
up, let's
tummy and
see
let
it.
us see it.
Oh, that's
Oh, Cobra
that's
kind of
good.
slapped the tummy. I gave you an order.
1984. That's amazing.
All right.
I mean, yeah.
There
that's
it is. There it is. Thanks, Kevin.
There
Give the
it
people
is.
what they want. Ladies and gentlemen, if you just saw that tummy slap, you owe us $2 on Patreon. We want it now. We want it now. So, all right, that's where you get your latent powers are amplified by this thing, kickstarted like Tony talks about in Avengers. Then we go from there back to Avengers Compound. This is when she was very alone. It's after the death of Pietro, right? She's grieving him and watching sitcoms in the other room. Vision comes through the wall or whatever and he sits down and they have a nice conversation. You kind of see them building a rapport and, her teaching him about humor and stuff because he doesn't understand it and teaching what a sitcom is and how, like, it looks bad, but it's not going to end badly kind of thing. And this is, there's some funny dialogue in here. And then, of course, the line that will be said at all of our funerals by me. What is grief if not love persevering, right? That has launched 1,000 ships on the internet. Just such a dynamite line. IMO.
Love it.
That's sets them up falling in love on a very dark thing there with Pietro's death. Then from there we jump to the next flashback of her coming for Vision's body, showing up at Sword. I left this out, but we kind of talked about this earlier when fucking Harkins, whatever the fucking guy, Hockley, whatever the bad guy. Hockley. When Hockley's giving his speech to Jimmy and Monica and everybody, he shows a clip that is, she went in there and she stole Vision's body and she brought it here and that's what's going on. She's trying to, get her dead lover back to life and it looks like she has. We now get this flashback where, she shows up and she's ready to tear shit up if she has to, but Hockley invites her back to the meeting room. Hey, how you doing? And I just want to get the body. He's like, well, look down there. And she's like, well, what? There's a whole bunch of shit down here. What is that? that, and then it's that's his fucking corpse.
That's
We've
all your
taken it
dead
apart.
boyfriend, you idiot.
Yeah, you fucking moron. I thought you loved him. You can't recognize his goddamn abs. There they are. Because I'll tell you right now, if I you know what, I'll stop. Stop right there and move on. That's a rare one. That's a rare one. When I go in and I'm like, you know what, pull up. That's not going to play well. We don't need to talk about that. Let's move on.
You just opened that door and it was darkness, and you're like,
I'm proud of us here at Kind of Funny. I'm proud of
We've grown a bit. You know what I mean?
Proud.
We've grown. Anyways, she sees it and she's like mad about it, of course, and because they're obviously just working on his little body or whatever. And so she breaks all the glass, and she comes down there, and he's like, "Hold up! Don't shoot! Don't do whatever. Let her see this." And he makes the case, of course, like. It's not. I understand it's his body or whatever, but it's also like gajillion dollars of vibranium and a whole bunch of tech we know that is way better, and we need it, and it's the government's property. She goes down there and goes over his head and is like, "I can't read you." Really understanding that he's gone or whatever. She bounces, doesn't steal the body. The body's still there, and we're all like, "Oh, that's interesting." And so then. I think then, well, we'll just put it here.
Pissed, bro. She's
pissed, bro. She's pissed. She gets in the car. She drives to New Jersey. She goes to this plot.
I can imagine her in traffic, like, it's a fucking green light, go! Like,
and I'm just gonna fly the car, and she just picks the car up and moves it. She gets to this plot of land. There's just the frame or the foundation of a house or whatever. And we're like, what is this? What is going on? And she had an envelope in the scene before we didn't talk about it. And she gets there and opens it up, and it's a deed to this plot of land. Vision wrote on it for our future to grow old together. And it's very sweet. It's got the little heart on it. And it's like, you know what I mean? And that's when she goes nuclear. She's like, yeah. And she does a little red thing. She makes the hex and turns everything into the sitcom world and yada, yada, yada. I know we understand the grief behind it. I'm going to toss it.
Real quick, also spits out. Tim, can you emulate doing the power thing, but then we'll overdub
nice.
Greg's sound as you do it, and then a lot of VFX.
Yeah, give me one of these into the camera. Move your microphone, Tim. Give me one of these into the camera, and then Cameron Kennedy, Jim Lee, whoever's watching, go ahead and draw some red stuff.
Can you do me a favor though? I want a little mini Kevin in the red, just going sure.
No,
like slapping his belly.
Yeah, if we get Corey Cudney. Give me Corey Cudney. What I want here is a GIF of a Scarlet bitch making this, and then having a little dancing red Kevin in the center.
A little red Kevin.
There you go.
But I want him to sort of be like a
red.
I want him to sort of be a red version of the dancer from Jabba's palace.
You nailed it. Exactly what I was thinking too. Exactly.
You don't understand. We don't have footage of Kevin doing this.
Kevin, I need you to roll backwards, and I need you to just dance a little bit.
Just stick my face on the thing, turn her red, boom,
baby.
done.
Yeah, get
the dancing baby from Ally McBeal. That's perfect.
Put Kevin's face on that, and then put it on my little head.
Yeah,
guys, there's so many programs on the internet. You could do this in 15 minutes. All right, what I need you all to do right now is. All right, put your fucking sweatpants on, roll out of bed, knock over the Dr. Pepper cans and the Cheetos, and get to work. All right, it's so fucking easy. Download deepfake, download baby from Ally McBeal.
in like a year, someone's gonna be like, I did it on Reddit.
I assure you, it's much darker. Much darker.
We got a door open, guys, and there's feet in the darkness right now.
You know how it is. Our kids, they like it rough. They like me, and they like me to spit on them a bit to show them I love them.
This episode was probably my favorite of the whole series.
This interview? Wow, I thought I'd been killing it, but I'm glad you like it so much.
What?
Our kids like it when they spit on them a little bit. It was the line that got me there.
Metaphorically speaking, he meant.
Yeah, I would never spit on me because of COVID now.
Anyway, the penultimate episode that we just watched and just talked about, I think, is what was my favorite. I didn't expect to get flashbacks that were that. I didn't expect to really get a flashback episode, and I didn't expect the flashbacks to be that meaningful and good and well done. We got a lot of awesome looks at all the creativity that goes into making this show a 60s vibe, a 70s vibe, an 80s vibe. And I enjoyed the shit out of all of that just to see, because it must have been a blast to be a creator on that. And how can we make this a 70s thing? How can we make this an 80s thing? But I think this episode was just probably my favorite front to back. I think
I can't wait for the documentary next week that they're doing of like how they did this and what they did about this. And something else to watch on Friday as we get ready for Falcon Winter Soldier. But the penultimate episode not fully done yet, remember. We come out of this last thing and we get you're chaos magic, you're the Scarlet Witch. Awesome. And then in the mid-credit scene we get Harkney, Harkward, Hayward making White Vision. White Vision wakes up. Like, oh man, this guy's got white vision problems. And then also Snoopers is going to snoop his last episode, right? Because this is the episode then without Monica at all and without Pietro. And then we're here to the season series finale. Do we want to recap this one? We started here.
Well, she also creates Vision with her gold belly button or whatever. Like something happens where it's like she pees him out or something.
What's the Mind Stone inside her, right?
Did you see the screenshot where it looks like he's got a big old dong?
Big old dong.
Big old dick.
It's great.
I mean, he's 6'3".
It can be as big as he wants it to be. I mean, he's putting clothes on all the time, taking clothes off.
I'd make it 8.
It's true.
I feel like anytime I was trying to fight, just make yourself invisible.
The honesty that like Nick just had right there.
Yeah.
I'm in that room whenever you're ready, Greg. I'm in the darkness with you.
No, I love being in the darkness. Oh, do you want? I had a great one the other. You know what? I'll save it for another time. But if you ever, if you want to ever know, I had a great one. Okay, everybody. This isn't nearly as dark as the other one, but here's the jam I almost had, but we moved too quickly. And what's comedy all about, Andy?
Timing. Rule of 3.
Timing. That's right. Now, the other one I was going to be is when you were talking about green screen Tim's eyes and put little nicks in it. I was going to say, oh, man, be careful. One time, Nick and I shared a hotel room, and I got little nicks in my eyes, and it burned.
Oh, yeah, the salt.
That's pretty good, yeah.
All right, back to it. So are we recapping this final episode or not?
Yeah, I mean, easily. There's a bunch of fight scenes. We already kind of recapped.
Oh, yeah, it's super easy. I'm not saying it's hard. I was just wondering if we...
I wanted to call out a big moment of Big Dumb Andy happening.
Andy.
It's a common thing, right? Big Dumb Andy. But the moment that Jimmy Woo calls Cliff, I was like, Hawkeye.
Yeah, which is Clint.
And...
Clint, my little brother was like, isn't he Clint? I was like, yeah, you're right. I'm sorry.
Yeah, as soon as you said Cliff, I said, no fucking way. And I'm waiting for that. But then out of nowhere, where in the following scene, they're fighting kind of in that little street view or in that little, down that street before Agnes wakes up everybody to kind of make them aware of what the hell's happening. It was during that scene that out of nowhere, just a little voice popped in my head. I was like, Andy, he said Cliff, not Clint. I was like, my bad.
Thanks, little voice Andy.
Yeah,
I'm Big Dumb Andy.
Yeah,
I need a little voice Andy for that one.
I was like, damn it, I'm an idiot. I'm so stupid. Because I think that would have been not great anyway to just bring in Clint out of nowhere. So I'm glad that didn't happen. But at the moment, I was like, no way, dude, this is gonna be cool. Because I just expected like him to just bow and arrow fucking Hayward to the head, Hawkeye, or what do we call him, Hockley?
Hockley. Yeah,
I expected Hawkeye. And
Hawkeye gets Hockley. Yeah, that'd be Hawk on Hawk crime.
Another thing that kind of just, you got to understand this is the Marvel universe and it's Disney and it's PG-13. But the scene when Jimmy Woo is kind of detained before he grabs the phone.
When they throw him into the farm. Oh, that's afterwards, yeah.
Before he, like, as he's about to grab the phone in this episode. And he's like, they'll be here pretty soon or whatever. He's like, you're bluffing. He's like, am I? I just expect any sort of military group to just be like, just shoot him. He's a fucking loose end. Or, you know what I mean? Like, I'm Hayward. I'm an evil guy, clearly. Just fucking shoot him. Like we've shot a bunch of other people that have lied to us because we are a military organization and we make people disappear. Like, I just felt like, take him away. Get him out of here. Like, no way, dude.
But I feel like it's like a very, I don't know. I guess that's an option. In that moment, I was more concerned about like the fact that there's a security guard that walks him to Hayward.
Security guard didn't see shit, Kevin. He didn't see a damn thing.
And then he just like, there's a phone rings. There's a phone rings that no one acknowledges, which is just
phone's ringing. And he just picks it up and stuffs it in his back pocket.
Yeah, and then he just goes over there. And
What should have happened, Kevin, is the phone not ring.
What the fuck are you doing?
What should happen is the phone not
you
ring.
Just boof that phone?
The phone not ring and him walk up backwards to it, and we see like a little camera of his thumb like unlocking and like dialing the phone out. It just made it so much more unbelievable. Yeah,
it was like an 80s movie. He dials it, and then Hayward's phone rings, and he's like, damn it, wrong phone number. Are you fucking calling me?
Stop calling me.
The two post-credit scenes to talk about him. We get the Skrull talking to Monica Rambeau, setting up little Captain Marvel 2 action. And then super awesome one. Yeah, she's going to space. Not grounded anymore. And then, the second one with the Doctor Strange teases there. I loved this. I love it that it just sets us to a place where I didn't expect to be going this direction, and I am here for it. Did you guys enjoy the post-credit scenes?
Yeah,
Absolutely.
definitely.
I thought the first one was like, all right, cool. I liked it.
I mean-
they did a good job setting up Phantom. What's her name?
Photon.
Photon.
They used like a whole season of a show and a little bit of a movie to set up this character. So I feel like that's really cool. We've never gotten so much time to develop a character out like that. But I was like, all right,
Ben
that's
Mendelsohn,
cool.
did he die at the end of Captain Marvel?
No.
No.
He gets shot, but he doesn't.
He's
die.
in Far From Home.
If this would have been Ben Mendelsohn, I would have fucking popped the hell off.
That would have been cool.
But
Yeah.
they
That's-
just had him for this, and she homegirl brings him into the room. Somebody wants to talk to you, and out from the corner is Ben Mendelsohn in full,
Nick Fury.
scroll outfit. Like,
Oh my
my
God, no,
gosh!
See,
That
that's
would've
where I
been
thought it was
so
going to
cool.
go. I thought. I mean, I'm dumb and I don't really pay attention. I can't remember if he's alive or not, for Christ's sake. But I thought she was going to go like, what's happening here? And look back and hear Samuel L. Jackson's voice like Monica Rambeau, and I was like, oh my God, she's getting put into Shield, which doesn't really exist anymore, I guess. But whatever.
Well,
But it was in.
Yeah,
They were good, but I mean, I wasn't floored by any of them. You know what I mean?
yeah.
And it's unfair to the show to be like, oh man, I had higher expectations, or I wanted more, or yada yada yada.
That's on me. That's on me.
It's on me for sure, and that's I was happy we got one after Monica, because Monica's I was like, no, okay, yeah, and then to get there and see her doing the astral projection, I was like, that's pretty cool, okay, but I was still expecting there to be someone to walk through the door, or even the Doctor Strange like portal open or something.
Yeah.
See, I'm with you in that the Monica Rambeau one was like, it's fine, it's serviceable, it is what it is, but obviously it's not get hype, like who cares? But the second one, to me, I was floored, just because to me it was proof that it doesn't have to be a cameo for a post-credit scene to be interesting and matter in a way that I'm like genuinely surprised by. And I'm surprised they're going down the path of Wanda being more on the evil side than anything, and delving into the dark magic side of things, and I didn't expect him to do that. So it's like a good surprise to me. So I would say that I was floored by that one, at least. You want to hit me with some of that haiku and review, Andy?
Real
After
quick
Kevin says
question.
something?
Sorry, the guy in the sky that
I'm the guy in the sky.
Monica is
I'm in
going to
the
go
sky,
talk to,
and I'm a guy.
Is that Nick Fury? Because the last time we
It
saw
could be
Nick Fury,
Talos, could be Nick Fury.
but Talos was on Earth the last time we saw him, right? At the end of, and he was talking to Nick Fury, who was in whatever sword is doing up there. Okay, cool.
Man, it's been a while.
Well, that's right, because
since
he
I've seen Far
played
From
Nick
Home.
Fury, right? I totally forgot that he was impersonated Nick Fury in that.
I have not. I saw Far From Home in theaters with you all. I haven't seen it since.
Yeah, me neither.
What's
Never
setting
went
up
back.
Secret Invasion, the show?
And it's
that
weird because I
think
liked
is
it.
next year.
Just didn't really care to see it again. Did I really like it? I don't know.
Andy, you want to watch it together via
Okay.
Discord? Cool.
Cool. That
Greg,
sounds
you're
good.
not invited.
All right, ready?
Fuck.
7 syllables in the middle. You'll need 5 for the first and last line. If you're not poetic, no need to fret it. Haikus don't need to rhyme. Haiku in review. Haiku in review.
It's
That was
very rare.
Awesome.
It's very rare that Tim gets got, but he got on that one. Like, I could tell Tim had a genuine reaction to that of being like, this was impressive.
I
And he
very much
impressed
did.
me.
Did you play that live, or was that something that you
Did
pre-recorded?
not play it live. I made it on a program called Tabit, the program that I learned how to play guitar back in 2002.
Andy, I want to be clear to you that is even more impressive. The fact that you took time to actually do that. Hell yeah, I love you.
Thank
You can
you.
go to patreon.com/kindafunny to write your review in haiku form. And of course, Miscellaneous has to come in and just absolutely kill the game with a 6-parter here doing the plot. Wanda creates Cage, fueled by her pain and rage, just setting the stage. Vision, unaware that his mind has been impaired. Memories aren't there. Scientist with sword. Wanda wants to be ignored. Hex expands. Oh, Lord. Agnes gives the deets. Her betrayal lies and cheats. Wanda's hope depletes. Wanda fights with Tool. The double vision duel. Punishment? Cruel. In the end, she cries, telling family goodbye. Suited up, she flies.
Wow.
Hell yeah.
That's good.
That's
Hell
very impressive.
yeah. Let's do some Ragu Bagu, baby. Bring it back to volume 1.
Ragu. Bagu. I like the sheer volume of clicks that went along with it.
That was that.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to Rad Guys Talk Bad Guys, the podcast within a podcast where we rank all the villains of the MCU universe alongside the X-Men universe. And I think there's some Star Wars people in here. I'm not sure anymore. I'm one of your hosts, Greg Miller, alongside Nick Scarpino, Tim Gettys, Kevin Coelho, and of course, Big Dumb Andy. Before we get first off, who are we deciding is the villain of WandaVision? Is it in fact Agatha and Wanda?
And Hayward, unfortunately.
Hayward, yeah.
I think we have
That's
to
going to pull him down.
include him.
That's going to pull it down.
Yeah.
So then we have 3 people on one thing to decide where they go for WandaVision. If you need a refresher for what the list stands at
might,
now,
yes.
do you want me to start at the bottom or the top?
Let's start from the bottom.
Starting at number 36 on the list, it's Jessica Chastain and the Zelda Mummies. Number 35, it's Dr. Reyes in New Mutants. Number 34, it's these fucks in Thor's 2. In 33, it's these ducks from Wolverine. In number 32, it's Abomination. Number 31, it's Apocalypse, duh. 30, doesn't matter, Deadpool 2. Number 29, Ronin and Guardians. Number 28, Cross and Ant-Man. Number 27, that lady from Ghost. Number 26, Phoenix Magneto, X3. Oh, hold on a second. Tim left. We'll have to wait because I don't want him to be lost. He's going to be like, oh, I think it's probably around 27, but like, who was that again? I think he lost. He left around Ronin, so we'll wait at 29 for Ronin.
All right, cool. But yeah, by the way, Kevin, I did send an assets.
Oh, I see it. Yep, there it is. There it is. Thank you.
It's very long.
It's a lot better than 29. Come on, guys.
I mean, that's how the votes had it. He Cross from Ant-Man, who I know Andy hates, is above Ronin, so that's just like,
oh,
that's
Cross was
crazy because
awful.
that's how much he hated Ronin, apparently.
Cross was awful, dude. I liked Ronin, man.
How
I
did
bet
he-
you if he goes back to those episodes, I bet you if you actually go back there,
You hated him.
I probably like said something totally different. I'm
Sure.
a wild card, Greg. I'll just say
You are a
random
wild
stuff,
card.
you
I've
know?
always said that if there's one thing I've said about Andy Cortez, that's he's a wild card.
My
Tim, we
take's
waited
not
for you. We didn't
consistent.
want you to get lost. Number 29, Ronin. It's number 28, Cross and
Poor
Ant-Man.
Tim.
Number 27, that lady from Ghost. Number 26, Magneto Phoenix X23.
you gotta wait again.
This
He
is
might
an
not
amazing
get it.
freeze frame on Tim. Number 25,
yes.
Loki and Thor. Number 24, Obadiah Stane. Number 23, the Mandrid / Aldrich. Number 22, the Vision from Solo. Number 21, Mask / Dormammu. Number 20, Magneto and Brotherhood. Number 19, the Dink in Sentinels. The Dink and Sentinels. Number 18, Rockwell and Mickey. Number 17, Red Skull. Number 16, Francis Angel Deadpool. Number 15, Kree Jude Ladd. Number 14, Ultron. Number 13, Hydra Cap Wee.
Wait, hold
number
on.
12.
What's Creed Jude Law.
Jude Law.
That's
from Captain Marvel.
Captain Marvel.
Yeah.
Got it.
But remember, we put it down to whatever it autocorrects to is what it is.
Oh, it was the Kree.
Yeah. Number 12, Stryker. Number 11, Pierce Logan, X24. Number 10, Baconator in First Class. Number 9, Mysterious from Far From Home. Number 8, Ego Guardians 2. Number 7, Hell / Grand Masked Thor Rag. Number 6, Loki in Avengers. Number 5, Thanos in Endgame. Number 4, Bacon Guy in Civil War. Number 3, Michael B. Jordan in Black Panther. Number 2, The Vulture in Spider-Man. And number 1, Thanos in Infinity War.
Does anyone have a strong feeling?
No. I don't know. I'm lost.
Yeah.
I would say it's definitely up there, but not top 3 for sure.
No.
Further than
I would
that,
say
right?
Top
Greg,
10 at least,
Can you
though.
give me
Who's
number
t-
10
who's
one
10?
more time?
Number 10 is Kevin Bacon in X-Men First Class.
Because here's the thing: what we need
I'd
to
put her above
realize is
that.
a lot of villains aren't that good. So,
Sure.
even though there's some major issues here, Hayward being horrible,
Yeah.
like
Just
what
a
a
waste
waste
of
of
skin.
time.
What if we took
Yeah.
him off the table? What if we just took him
No.
off
No.
the table?
We can't
No.
though.
What
No,
if
we can't.
what if it was like with the hey guys,
It's
breakfast
just let's
just
go
came.
one by one then, all right? I guess.
Give me 10. Let's start from 10 and see and vote
Start
from 10, I
at
think.
start at 51 one more time.
Sure, sorry. Okay. Number 10 is Kevin Bacon in First Class.
I think they're better than that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree that they're better than Kevin Bacon in First Class.
Okay,
Number
9.
8 is Ego and Guardians.
Yes,
I think they're better.
You do?
Well, I
I
think
don't know.
Wanda in general is like top 5 for
Yeah,
me
but
because
Hayward
the
brings
whole thing is about
Hayward
this.
brings. Yeah, but like Wanda, I feel like
Yeah, but
Hayward
they
brings
hit
it
him with
down
the
a
car.
lot.
They hit him with a car. But
I mean, here's
Catherine
where
Hahn brings it back.
I mean,
up.
here's where we get into Ego. I would have started to debate the vote.
Yeah, that's
Number
right.
7, Hela and Grandmaster from Thor Ragnarok.
We
Hela's-
we had
I don't like Hella, man.
no, but we
Dude,
had
her
we had
performance
it,
is so
we had
good.
it so
Her
high
performance
because
is good.
Jeff Goldblum overran everything.
Yeah,
We loved
fucking
her.
yes.
We loved Hella's performance, but
Kookiness.
she had some lines that just didn't really work. But Jeff Goldblum brought up that score. I think right here, Jeff Goldblum bringing them up is equal to
Hayward bringing them
Hockley
down.
bringing them down.
I agree,
What?
but I would still say it's above it though.
What was
Okay.
the Jeff Goldblum line in Ragnarok that I laughed so hard at because he just didn't finish it? Remember, we just stops mid sentence.
Yeah, I don't remember what
moves
the line
on.
was.
Fuck, he's great.
I'm not there in the rewatch yet. I'll tell you when I get there. Number 6 is Loki and Avengers.
I mean, I would actually put. I mean, I don't know.
What's number 5?
Number 5 is Thanos and Endgame.
No
Yeah, no.
way.
No,
Like,
below that
like-
for sure. I would say number
Below
6
that.
or number
Yeah.
7.
I can get behind that.
But Hayward sucks so bad, guys.
Yeah,
Yeah, but Wanda,
but he's not
think
really the
about
bad-
How
he's-
many people
yeah.
she's fucking their lives
Yeah.
over, right?
He's an antagonist, but he's not the bad guy. Wanda is
And
the
Agatha.
bad guy in this series, and Agatha are the sort of real antagonists to the series.
I go above Loki. That's my vote.
I'll take it. I'll second it.
Do I get a third?
Do you want Andy's not there? Andy's not going to do it?
I have them probably at like 9, maybe. I think Hockley's that terrible.
Wow.
Hockley
Wow. But I do think that Wanda and Agatha are that good.
Yeah.
I feel like I would have to struggle more with if this was a decision about Hela. But after a rewatch of Avengers recently, I do think that that's not Loki's strongest performance. So I'm with you, Tim. I'll third it.
Boom.
So that's all you need.
I guess we need to do a full rewatch.
We do. Oh, I was talking about, remember MCU review special edition, where we just watched it this year and then we put up the old episode, but at the back we just put
Add
5
all the
extra
things.
minutes. We're like,
Still
hey, we
good.
watched it again,
Still
and
good.
here's what we think.
The quarantine cut. Yeah.
Okay, so Wanda, Agatha, and Hockley.
You'll
So
like
then,
to see it.
oh, it corrected to Hawkeye, so that's where we are now. So now it's just top
What's this
10,
thing
all right?
begin with?
Number 1, Thanos. Number 2, Vulture. Number 3, Michael B. Jordan. Number 4, Bacon Guy. Number 5, Thanos in Endgame. Number 6, Wanda, Agatha, Hawkeye. Number 7, Loki. Number 8, Hela Grandmaster. Number 9, Ego. Number 10, Mysterious from Far From Home.
I feel good about that.
I
Yeah.
do too.
I like that. I like that a lot. Now it's time to rank the Marvel Cinematic
God.
Louise.
Universe.
I forgot about this part.
Yeah, currently, Kevin,
Oh,
you can bring
man.
that up.
Jesus
Thank you very
Christ.
much. Number 1 is Endgame, 2 Infinity War, 3 Homecoming, 4 Civil War, 5 Ragnarok, 6 Winter Soldier, 7 Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, 8 Avengers, 9 Guardians 1, 10 Iron Man, 11 Far From Home, 12 Black Panther, 13 Doctor Strange, 14 Captain Marvel, 15 Ant-Man and the Wasp, 16 Ant-Man, 17 Iron Man 2, 18 Age of Ultron, 19 First Avenger, 20 Iron Man 3, 21 Hulk, 22 Thor, 23 Thor The Dark World. Where do we put WandaVision?
I will open the bidding at number 7, putting it above Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 and below Winter Soldier.
I
it's
I
way
really
too high.
think that's very close to where I want it. I would say number 8 above Avengers and then underneath Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. I think this season has been tremendous. Really good. Did we get the protagonist fighting someone with their exact same powers at the end? We did. And that's a very phase
2 of
1,
them.
phase 2. Yeah, I know. Phase 1, phase 2. But like I think overall it was fun. They did in some really complex stuff. And at the end of the thing, the real bad guy is grief, you know?
Yeah, I'd go even higher. I'm debating whether I would put it at number 5 or number 6 because
Winter
It's
Soldier's
not-
so good, though.
it is. I mean, we're talking top tier.
I
Marvel
know,
at
we're
this
talking.
point,
Yeah, of course.
where
Yeah,
to me it is in the number 1 tier. It's just a debate of exactly where I put it, and I didn't vibe with Hela and Ragnarok, and I thought that like there were issues with that movie, even though I freaking loved the shit out of it overall. And Winter Soldier is so damn good, but I think that it lacks a little bit of the magic that I enjoy and comedy that I enjoy from the MCU. That I think WandaVision did a great job of incorporating all the elements that I love, but also really taking advantage of the TV format and the decade by decade stuff, all the unique theme songs and all that stuff. The the way that the show kept us questioning what's going on. And instead of just looking at it as, okay, the last episode is the finale and I'm only going to judge that as the payoff, there was payoffs constantly. And I feel like every episode ended with something where we were looking forward to the next week. And this one ended with us looking forward to the rest of the MCU. Like, this accomplished what it set out to do, which was take characters that were at most okay in the MCU and making them some of our favorites where we really care, in the same way that we care about Tony and Cap and Thor, in Endgame. Like, when we see these characters in a movie next time, it's going to mean a lot more. And that is extremely exciting to me. And I think that overall, this was just a fantastic first step into Marvel TV. So, yeah, there we go.
I would say I would put it a little bit lower. I would probably, my initial thought was around the 14, 13 mark.
Whoa.
But yeah, I that was just, kind of looking at this list. I'm like, wow, there's a lot of heavy hitters, but I don't know. I could be dissuaded because it's a hard things to compare to the movies,
Sure.
right? The movies are such a different experience.
Sure.
We really got like, a solid 6 hours. What was the total runtime in this whole series? Maybe 5-6 hours.
4.5.
4.5. Wow, I was way off. But I mean, that's a lot of time for character development, and that's really what it focused on. So I think judging off of that, I mean, I do think this was a much more personal story than we're getting in, like, for instance, like Far From Home or actually even Guardians of the Galaxy. I don't know. It's tough.
Yeah,
I would say we can start the voting at maybe 14, putting it at 14 and go from there.
I'm gonna go.
I would say just start there. Like, I'm gonna get outvoted, but I would say I don't think it's gonna go below that, right? Like,
Yeah, no.
Yeah,
For
but
sure.
I mean,
I'm gonna.
I don't think it's going to go
closer to
below
Kevin and Greg.
7 or 8.
I'm going to be closer to Kevin and Greg. I thought it was an achievement to make a show that was so different and so weird and odd, and definitely not anything like Marvel that we'd seen before. And it worked, and it kept you guessing from week to week. I don't think the payoff was exactly what we wanted. I liked the season finale a lot. I wouldn't say it was in the top 5 episodes of the season, but I thought it worked, and I think it was just such an achievement to actually make that format work and not make the format just a gimmick, right? The fact that it's still tied in. As we kept going through the decades, I kept wondering, when is this going to get old? And it never did. And I love that it ended, and the final version of that, before we had the flashback episode, we didn't get a please stay tuned, because that the TV show was done at that point. I thought the show was just insanely creative. I thought that, again, to pull this off in this universe where us Marvel fans expect the Marvel movies to be in here, we only kind of got that towards the end of it. And I thought it was just really, really damn good. And I would put this below Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, above Avengers.
That's exactly where I want to put it as well. If someone had been like, and then there's a moment where they call her the Scarlet Witch, and you literally gasp, I would have been like, no, it's not possible. Like, there's no possible
Nothing
way
makes me gasp.
I'm gonna be excited to, like, see Scarlet Witch, like, officially become the Scarlet Witch, like a named character, in that sense, where she no longer is Wanda. And
also,
and
her
here I am,
costume looks so dope.
Yeah, it looks
So
great.
Her getting her
And when it
costume at the end
happened-
really reminded me of Daredevil getting his costume at the end of season 1.
It's dope as shit. Kev, you talking about the elicited reactions. Well, I've been talking about how Gia's little sister watched the MCU for the first time, like, this year, and now they're super in. She came over last night to watch the finale at midnight, and when the Marvel Studios logo came up, she clapped, and I was like, "This is awesome!" Like, it's like this gives me a little bit of the old times, which I really love.
The old
All right,
times.
let's start the voting with number 14. Who thinks it's better than Captain Marvel? Please raise your hand. All of us. Who thinks it's better than Doctor Strange? Nick put his hand down. Who thinks it's better than Black Panther? Everyone except Nick. Far From Home. Everyone except Nick. Iron Man.
Far From
Everyone
Home's
except
too
Nick.
high.
Guardians of the Galaxy.
Hi.
Everyone except Nick. Avengers. Everyone except
Oh.
Nick.
You're putting this above Avengers? Okay. History will remember.
No,
this.
I'm going down.
Go back and rewatch
Daddy
Avengers.
sound?
I just did 2 days ago, or 4 days ago.
Yeah. Guardians 2.
No, I want it above Guardians.
And Kevin put it down, which means that WandaVision is the new number 8. So the top 8 now is Endgame. Bring it up, please. Endgame, Infinity War, 3 Homecoming, 4 Civil War, 5 Ragnarok, 6 Winter Soldier, 7 Guardians 2, and did I just mess that up?
No, you said it
No,
right.
you're good.
8.
It's the next one.
WandaVision.
8.
Yes, and 8
WandaVision.
WandaVision. So thank you very much. Love you guys. We will return eventually with Falcon, and the Winter Soldier in about 7 weeks from now. So,
But the plan is to still do Friday reactions to that, right?
Exactly.
On the Screencast audio feed, youtube.com/kindafunny for the videos, and then you can get the reactions on the Kinda Funny Screencast audio feed each and every week.
Exactly. And then we will do the finale just like we did this and put it into MCU in review. Thank you all for joining me for this. Let us know what you thought of the finale and the season as a whole in the comments below. And until next time.
On your left.